Welcome to the Damn Good Average Bowler podcast, episode 13, 1 year anniversary. Boys, give it up for yourselves.
What I'm talking about. How you doing, Curtis?
Pretty good, pretty good.
All right. Thanks for joining me here at the table that y'all have prepared.
Yes.
We are getting all of our phones and cameras and mics and everything situated. First show 2025, guys.
It's been a while.
It's been a while and it's been a work in progress. We apologize for the wait for everybody. We know at least there's a few of you out there that have been excited to share this episode with us. And we had to reschedule a couple times. Sickness, health, being out of town, life tends to happen, you know. But we are all very excited, very grateful, and proud to be sitting here right now. So Coach Mike's checking the stats on YouTube, checking us on TikTok. How's everybody doing? Sending out all the announcements and everything. Curtis is set up here. He's going to be monitoring both. So as normal, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, want to shout out, want to talk crap, whatever, let us know. We are monitoring. We are here for you. So, how are we looking, Coach?
Doing pretty good, sir. Just getting the invite sent out here.
Nice. Curtis, how you doing there, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited about this.
Yes. It's been a while. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
It's been a what? While.
While.
Yeah. Hoist a lot.
While.
We hoist a lot.
Cool whip.
Whip.
Cool whip. All right. Saying what weird. How's everybody's, what's today, Saturday? How's everybody's
Yes.
Saturday?
Saturday, we are awesome.
Everybody's safe and warm, and
Yes.
if you got snow, if you didn't, I'm sorry.
No, if you did, good for you because.
We got, so even on top of the mountain here in Alabama, we only got like 3 inches.
Yeah.
That's it?
Wow.
Yeah, no, we didn't get that much.
And the mountains are the ones that get hit first.
Yeah, up high up.
Higher.
So,
Why do you have so much emphasis on the H?
I don't know. Just, that's how I'm feeling today. There's a lot of stuff coming up. And first thing you'll notice is these a-holes to my left and right. You'll notice the color of their hats. Those are the gold first place winning hats of our beloveds. Yeah, show your belt. Show your belts. Mine, and they're going to be flaccid when you put them back down. That was awesome. I love disappearing behind the DGAB belts for just a split second.
That's how big they are, man. These things are legit too.
They are.
Yeah.
The snake skin, like we've talked about before, red snake skin on a belt. Who would have thought that would work? But it totally does. These belts are killer.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, I guess. I'm supposed to say that.
You weren't even here like the last 4 weeks.
So, well, how many did you not bowl, Mister? Let's not go.
I did not bowl 1 month. I missed 4 weeks.
Yeah, see that?
Did I bowl
See
more
that?
than you this time?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yes,
so what did
did.
you guys think coming back in and bowling league with us?
Well, you know, Curtis had one thing in mind. He just wanted to be eligible for the 4th DGAB
yeah.
members only
Only
invitation.
reason why I did it, because they
Well-
wouldn't let me in. TikTok, you wouldn't let me in.
No, David Clemens wouldn't let you in.
I wasn't trying to name names, but you know who you are.
David Clemens.
No, man. I'm just glad to have Curtis here because he does so many stuff, so many things behind the camera, and you know, I think it would be amiss of us if we didn't tell people to go follow him on TikTok.
Yes. Speaking of which, Curtis, he's pretending to look busy right now, right here in front of me. So
Mhm.
he's
I'm
off the hook
listening.
but we are
He's listening.
We're getting him going on TikTok to the 1,000, so he can join us on the After Darks. Should I go ahead and say right now, like as far as TikTok goes?
Yeah.
We are going to proceed as normal with, basically by that I mean going live on TikTok, live on YouTube for these things until TikTok is no more. I know there's a lot of speculation, oh, it's going away, blah, blah. We are going to act as if it's staying until it's gone. But also pushing to YouTube because that is where we do just as much. So if you're not following us on YouTube, get us over there because if TikTok does go away, that's going to be the primary. So,
Yes.
we got going on anything in the chats there, Kurtas?
Yes, we got, what's that say, Go Time saying hello.
That's
Right.
Dwight. Hey, Dwight, what's going
Dwight.
on? I just had him on Calling All Bowlers the last episode
Nice.
this week.
I saw some of that.
Yes.
I think I was still in PA.
Yes.
We got Mr. Dolman saying that I'm looking for another joke to laugh at.
Aren't
we're
we
gonna,
all?
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that real soon.
We got a lot of stuff
We got a
to get
lot.
into.
Yeah.
Maniac says TikTok is not going anywhere.
I don't think so either, but
Hey, just in case,
Yeah.
you can still give us. Hey, and the subscribe on YouTube is free.
yeah, and yep.
And Tony P says, yo.
Yo,
Actually,
Tony.
yo.
Nice. Well, the next thing we have going on is from these hats. It was a lot of fun having you guys in the season with us, but I think we did notice that it's kind of tough to do because our plan was to stream all of those and having, because I've been bowling on this league, that's kind of how we all came to meet a little bit, but having you two actually bowl in it was pretty tough on everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just what it is. You know what I mean?
On top of like, I tell people all the time, they're like, why do you pay yourself $1? Well, I think it was put on display.
It was evident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I've said too, I was like, I don't ever want to run one of these leagues. When we first came out, I'll do it. I'll do everything for love, but I won't do that.
It's okay to run it. It's just a pain in the you know what to run it and bowl it. And don't get me wrong, like I'm glad we did it. I hate that my knee. Look, knee gave me some problems this time. It wasn't my wrist. Well, my wrist is going to hurt no matter what, but my knee started giving me some problems. And I always tell people, you can get around your wrist. You can't get around your knee.
Yeah, that is true.
So, in actuality, I do want to give a big shout out to my boy Kyle because he came in the final week and bowled for me. Because I looked at Curtis, I said, Curtis, I can't give you 730. Like, I'm scared about my knee. I was being legit.
I can't give you 730.
Yeah, 7:30.
Well, and to be honest with you, Kyle shot 729. And how many pins did y'all win that whole
Oh
thing?
God, man, that game, those 3 games were so tense. I thought I was gonna pass out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the first game we won by maybe 20 pins. The second game was less than that, like 9 or 10.
Kyle was literally looking at me going, you have got to get him to calm down.
I couldn't, man. My heart was pounding. I was getting lightheaded.
Really?
I wanted to win very bad. I'm very competitive.
Well, we're going to find that out tomorrow because no
Good on
commissioner exemptions needed for Curtis tomorrow.
Yes.
And the team we're bowling, if they beat us,
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
That's when my-
previous.
and that's when my knee.
Yeah,
That's when my knee.
they
got
beat us
going.
4-1. So I was like, yeah, we're getting a rematch, so we can't have a repeat of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's kind of why I knew Oregon was done playing Ohio again. I was like,
Yeah.
they're not going to be happy coming in on it.
No.
Well, glad that you made it and you survived. Look at you, you're still alive.
I am so.
But did you die?
Inside a little, yeah.
That's good. We're all if you still got any life left on the inside, you're doing good, kid.
Mhm.
So
You're gonna go far, kid.
you are not totally dead yet, so good on you.
Hey, before you keep doing that awesome job you always do during this,
Thank you.
I want to take just a minute, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure.
This, I didn't say this to y'all before in the pre-plan. I am so appreciative of these two right here, and we're gonna get into it, but these guys have done so much to help me create a sense of direction for this brand, because I didn't have any idea. Like I knew I had something, but I didn't know exactly what I had. So I just want to take this time off the cusp. Y'all didn't know about it. Just to say thank you.
Ooh, let's three-way.
Yeah.
Yay! I
No,
like that.
no.
Yeah.
Rated R now.
No.
Thank you, Michael. I do appreciate that. I'm sure that Curtis does too.
Yes. And Brian said thank you for all that you do.
Yes.
Brian, I appreciate you, buddy.
Yes. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And we've already been through a full year together doing this stuff.
Well, it's technically over a year, but hey,
Yeah.
who's counting?
I know, right?
No, I went back and looked. Our first episode that we did, which was 2 parts and 3.5 hours long, was November 14th, 2023.
That was a long one, man. We're gonna get to that and everything else we did in the year. But before we get there, let's get caught up a little bit and moving past. You guys won the DGAB season this year.
Mhm.
And if you alluded to a little bit earlier, Mike, what is tomorrow?
Tomorrow is our 4th members-only invitational tournament. Perfect timing. I think this setup, everything was what the universe was supposed to set up for this. So, and also he is now eligible for it.
Can't stop me now.
Yeah, can't stop the rock.
Ain't nobody gonna hold you down.
Yeah. So how do you feel you're gonna do tomorrow?
I honestly have no idea.
Don't be nervous like
Yeah,
you was
I
the
was gonna
last
say, don't
week,
be
Curtis.
That's what I'm saying. This is my first tournament, so I've never bowled in a
Ever?
tournament ever.
Yeah.
Really?
I've never bowled in any kind of tournament format before.
But like, do you think you'll get like nervous?
I'm competitively nervous because
Okay.
I want to win, but also, if you win, you bowl more. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel. You get to the brackets and the arm starts to go, and then
I don't think the arm will start to go. You're not that old yet.
it's a weak arm. I mean, we bowled our league and then bowled pre-bowl right after that. It was just 6 games, but my
Okay.
arm was like dead by that
Yeah.
fifth game.
Yeah.
I see a comment on there, Curtis. Can you? I can't see what it is, but
Here's what we're gonna do. Flip this. You take this.
okay, cool.
And with that though, before on that note, this is the 4th one. So we did the first 3. That was this past year. Who you want to take us back through the first 3 that we did, just real quick?
So we technically did our first episode tied up into the first DGAB tournament ever. Do you remember that?
I do.
So we did that. We interviewed 3 people that day.
Mhm.
2 on the second part, 1 on the first part. And first tournament was ever won was by Bobby McMillan.
Yeah.
That was a really good one to watch because he was, as you talk about being, he said it like, he was very nervous. Like
Yeah.
he had technically never won a tournament. He had bowled tournaments, but he had never won it. So getting that little crystal, which we got another crystal trophy. I know you guys have seen it. I'm really excited
Which you
for
dropped.
it. Huh?
You dropped it.
He dropped it. Yeah, he
You
did.
dropped it.
But it did not break. He did not have a Pete Weber experience, so thank goodness for that. Before we go on here, Tony P wants me to tell you, Curtis, just have fun, bro, and enjoy the experience.
That's the mindset I like to go into it with. But then when the ball doesn't do what I want it to do, we get
Brian is already pumping up something that we're going to talk about here later in the episode. Brian, I appreciate you so much, but we got a lot to go
Yeah.
over here, so I'm going to do a Scott Holland.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to talk about the other chance.
You do. Yep. Hit us the second, third. That's okay.
Okay, so then we had another one, technically 17 weeks later. Then
Yeah.
Chase, that was when I first introduced the belt concept.
yes, he's
Yeah.
our first belt winner.
Yeah.
He is the first belt winner. So Chase Shoulders, great job on that one. That was a good match. Me and you called that one.
That was a lot of
That was a
fun.
good commentary. That came down to the 10th frame.
Yeah.
And that's what you wanted. Like all of these, that's the thing about these first 3 tournaments. The title match came down to the 10th.
Yeah.
There was no sweep. There was like no runaway. It came down to the 10th.
See, I love that. But see, that's what was making me so tense in the tournament. Every game, not tournament, the
Last
league.
night of league.
Every game, it was coming down to, we're coming to the 10th.
Yeah.
We're like separated by like 3 pins. I can't take this. I cannot take this.
That's his first experience with pressure.
I'm
You know
no
what?
pressure.
You know what? You know what builds from pressure, right, Curtis?
Diamonds.
Diamonds. And diamonds are forever.
That's right.
And then our final, the 3rd one. That's another one.
That was, I was gonna say, that was even more frame by frame. Holy crap, dude, that was awesome to
You
watch.
know, there's a moment in that 3rd one that I don't know if a lot of people remember because we were streaming live, but it was the semifinal. It was the final 4, and it was Roy against Chris, and both of them started off with the front 8.
Mhm.
That
you remember
was,
that?
and no, we
I
only
wasn't
did.
here for that
We
one.
only filmed the title match, so nobody did see it. So
Okay.
my bad. My apologies, but that one they both had the front 8. And the score scratch wise was 299 and 279.
Yeah.
Chris Jowers shot 299, left a 2 pin.
Yeah.
Roy was scratched and shot 279, and he was spotting Chris 9 pins. So the official score became 308 to 279. But then the title match between Phil and Chris, that was last. I mean, I think you heard me say it. I was like it was a 10th frame. I was like Phil's got to have this.
Yeah.
Got to have at least the first one, and those are the ones you were watching it.
Yeah, I was watching that in the finals.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing about it. Like, I think I'm so glad you made the point, Dustin, because this is kind of what I did. People ask me like, "What are you doing this tournament for?" Our league is mostly beginner recreational,
Mhm.
and I'm trying to give them like what you just said, like and Tony said, enjoy the experience. That's what the tournament's about. Is doing getting yourself the experience. So that way, if you do move up to a sanctioned league, and you do you get your sanction card and everything, because we're not sanctioned on Sundays, okay? We
Ain't
are
sanctioned.
true, ain't sanctioned. Yeah, that's another thing.
Ain't sanctioned.
Ain't sanctioned. That came up in the first episode. Ain't sanctioned. But we do that because I want to give these people kind of an idea of what league's like. Just kind of get their feet wet, metaphorically speaking, and see if it's something they really want to dive into. And some of the bowlers in the league have really just dove headfirst into it, been gung-ho about it, and other ones are like, this is not really for me. And it's like, well, that's the point. Because I'm looking at other bowlers now that come in here in the center. It's like, hey, join the DGAB league. It ranges anywhere from double-digit average to 200-plus averages. There's a good mix of people. You know this, being that you've been in here since last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like 1.5 years, I think now you've been a member of the DGAB.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. It's just like I do it for the experience, and hopefully, maybe we got over 100+ members in the group forum. Hopefully, we can say one day that the DGAB tournament's going to have 60 or 70 members. They're going to come do one.
One piece at a time.
But those are my champ recap for you.
Like
That's just like that's what I like about it. It came down. Every match has come down to the 10th, and unless our guys here are in the title match, which I got all the faith and confidence in the world in you. I'm not saying you're not, but if they are, then yours truly will be doing the commentary.
I was going to say one thing. How you said that this tournament was for the people that didn't bowl, to give them the chance to bowl in the tournament. That was my favorite part about Bobby McMillan winning it, because it wasn't one of the ones you would expect to win.
Yeah.
It was so emotional
Yes.
when he won. That's what, like, this is who this is for. That's why I really fell in love with the concept.
Totally agreed.
Again, it gets the experience.
Yep.
And that's what my main idea for it when I came up with the idea.
It's kind of like swimming in the deep end with floaties on.
Jumping into the 12-foot end of the pool, not knowing how to swim.
Yeah, but you got these floaties, so you're not going to drown.
When they threw me in the pool, I didn't have any floaties, and I got out of it, and I didn't see why I don't know the 12-foot end.
On that note, so this is the 4th one tomorrow. I believe you have a bit of an announcement on what the 5th Invitational All League DGAB tournament is going to be.
So the 5th overall tournament, but this is the first of its kind. Our DGAB members who joined the next league and were members from this previous league, and maybe the one before, I hadn't really decided. I've been getting feedback about like doing a cutoff because it is for like current, like previous stuff like that. But anyway, the concept is new. This is going to be the first ever Damn Good Average Bowlers Members Only Invitational Doubles Tournament. And it is going to be grand, I believe. When you say it's the first one, I told a couple of people that, and they're like, oh, we're totally down for it.
I really like, as soon as you told me, I was like, love it. Love the idea of
Maybe
it.
that's where Dustin and Curtis team up and put a team in.
Aren't you gonna?
Who knows? Maybe it's with Greg. I don't know.
I was
Some of the
gonna say,
possibilities
don't you
are
have it,
endless.
partner?
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
If Greg cannot, then yes.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying like the possibilities are endless.
Love you, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
No
that's.
shade to you, Greg. I'm just
We
saying.
were not trying to replace you live on air.
No.
We hope that your toe. Oh, shoot! I meant to answer your question yesterday because you asked me to remind him.
Mhm.
Yes, he thinks his toes. I'm talking about you right now, Greg. That his toes doing better. He's going to try to bowl tomorrow, but he'll be there and give it an attempt. So.
Want to give a shout out on TikTok to Mark Dillard is in the chat. Good to see you again, Mark. Welcome
Mark.
in.
So moving to our next subject, Mike, we're gonna turn this over to a lot of you, and we have a lot to discuss in this. But we had a lot of discussions about this episode as far as did we want to make it in memory of dedicated to. I think it's kind of become all of the above, and what I'm about to trespass to you. So, dear friend of yours, and I feel like it's not even doing it justice, Mr. Derek Tate.
Ah, God. So a lot of people they already know here on TikTok, but we lost our good friend Derek Tate. He was our third, fourth, fifth guest. Fourth. Okay, thank you. Very thankful that we got to interview him.
Yes.
I'm really proud of that episode because Derek got to come on and he got to talk about his story. And one of the things I like about it is it's like I kind of can't remember how my dad sounds. I hate using hate as a strong word, but I hate that I can't hear him in my head.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we had this recorded because now Oakland, who is, bless her heart, she's only 4. We got a piece. We got it. It's on the internet. So you know what they say, internet's forever.
Yeah.
So now if she ever wants to hear her dad's voice, I'm really happy that we did that. It's one of you know, we're talking about standout moments. It's probably one of my most favorite episodes because, again, you know, for those of you that, you know, if there's anybody on here locally that knows Derek, everybody knew how much Derek loved bowling. And when he couldn't bowl, and I think the time we interviewed him, he still wasn't able to. And if anything frustrated the man, I think it was that. It's the fact that he loved the game so much that he couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a fundraiser for him that February before we had him on, and he, bless his heart, he came out here and he tried, y'all. He really tried, and he kind of fell over, and we were like, no, Derek, don't push yourself. But I'm just really happy that we were able to do that episode, and now Oakland has something she can go back and she can hear her dad's voice anytime she wants. But we lost him on November 24th, this past year. He lost his battle to melanoma. He fought 4 years. He was he was never angry about it. I remember you did the pre-interview with him, and it's one of the things I think I can remember him saying. He was like, hey, you know what? This is all worth it for her, because he had Oakland with him that day too when we did the pre-interview. And damn it, he was so proud of that little girl. And I mean, you know, I kind of strive, if I was ever going to be a dad in my life, I'd want to be like Derek, you know, the handyman that just, again, he meant a lot to me. He meant a lot to a lot of people here in Huntsville. And one of the things I took the big honor, and his mom called me the day after he died, and she was like, will you please be a pallbearer? And I know I talked to you both about it. I was very nervous about it, but I did not turn that opportunity away because I felt like it was the least I could do for my buddy. And, you know, there were so many people at his funeral that had so many wonderful things to say about him. The person he worked with, Justin, was talking about he would not quit doing a project which they were putting in kitchen cabinets. And he said Derek would not leave until the job was perfect. So he talked a lot about him in that regard. He basically, Justin talked about how he was outworked by Derek, and he was his, you know, he's working for him,
Mm-hmm.
and it was making him look back. It was, you know, we had a lot of good memories shared and told there, but just being able to get him on his final ride, again, I took great pride in that. And the thing about it is y'all see these gold hats right here. The man came to me and he's like, Michael, I want a gold hat, I want a yellow hat, I want a green hat, a blue hat, a red hat, a black hat, and a pink hat.
Yeah.
Because the man, and he did, like, he literally, I was like, Derek, they're 35 a piece, you know, I'll do this for you. He goes, no, I don't care. And he pulled out like however much it was for all. He goes, here you go. And it was just, I was like, okay, I got you. And he literally would come in here on Friday night in our Parkway Strong League, and whatever color of the week he picked, which pink was his favorite, and he matched. Like, the pants, if it was a pink hat, if it was a yellow hat, he had a yellow shirt on, he had yellow pants on. And when he came in, one of the first things I remember, Buddy Lawyer called him Tweety. He goes, oh, he's in his Tweety Bird outfit tonight. And he was like, yeah, I like this one. You know, and it's just that thing, like I said, he's just most lovable guy in the world, like, very strong too. Don't let that 130, 140 pound frame like deceive you. He was really strong. I watched him throw somebody out of Parkway for disobeying an order from the front counter. He literally took him by the throat and threw him out. So when he was upset, he couldn't be messed with. But he bowled 8 days a week. He loved bowling, and I know I can keep on going on and on and on. But I'm thankful we got to interview him. I am thankful we have that for Rebecca, his wife, his mom Barbara, and his daughter Oakland. But it makes me very proud to let everybody know, and I kind of went over this a little bit in the behind the scenes show, but we are going to put on officially the Derek Tate Memorial Tournament. That tournament is officially going to be on Sunday, May 18th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to have 3 sweepers the 2 nights before. There's going to be a sweeper on Friday night at 6:30 on the 16th, and then there's going to be another sweeper during the day at 12 noon, which both those first 2 will be handicapped, and the final one at 4 will be scratch. They will all be 4 games. Sweeper's going to be $60 to entry to get into that one. And the cool thing about this is the winner of these 3 sweepers are going to get a free entry into the Derek Tate Memorial Tournament. So I'm really, I just think that Derek would want everybody bowling.
Yeah.
Because he loved the game that much, and I just think we, we owe it to his memory, and I do specifically because again, he helped me do so much stuff. Like you guys have helped me do a crap ton with the brand and everything. Like I said, I'm so grateful. But Derek built a lot of stuff. One of the things we saw at his video package, he made me a bench that turned into a table.
Nice.
On my back deck, and they found the video and they were playing, and everybody was like, "Wasn't that in your backyard?" I said, "Yeah, it was." And I literally remember recording him, and he was explaining, "Hey, this is what this does." He was just a handyman. He built my deck. He put up my privacy fence. He showed me how to do stuff. Well, a little bit, because he wanted to take charge of something. The project was his. He made it his. So, but no, Derek Tate Memorial Tournament. I'm very excited about this. Another thing I'm excited about. I mean, Curtis, I'm going to pass this over to you. The philanthropy work you're looking into, I feel like this is, or do you just want to wait till that's official?
I will say, yeah, hold off on it.
Okay, we're going to hold on that. I don't know. Again, I'm all over the place. But we're going to be doing a couple of big things with this. But talking to everybody on TikTok, they're literally like Brian, Patrick, we're talking like New Mexico, Florida, Victor from Nebraska, they're all like trying to put these dates and say, hey, we're holding it for this. So, but Derek Tate Memorial Tournament, weekend of May 16th, 17th, 18th. Looking forward to it. And then another thing about it is with the way our DGAB league is going to fall, being 14 weeks this time, May 4th is going to be exactly when that members only doubles invitational will be.
Nice.
So we are not going to bowl it all in May because it's going to be DGAB doubles tournament,
Yeah.
Mother's Day, Derek's tournament weekend, and then Memorial Day. So May is going to be it's going to be really rocket fuel for the Rocky City.
Ooh, did you come up with that, or are you sitting on that
I
one?
just came up with that off the cusp.
That was pretty good.
That's how you know you're on a roll. It just came.
Again, I'm sorry, I didn't think,
No, not at all. You did
Yeah.
great. And you had mentioned to me, I think, and I want to go ahead and mention this because you covered about everything. You did a great job.
Thank you. And I didn't get emotional, so that was like,
No, you did great, man. But this tournament is not a one and done.
no, this will be an annual
Yes.
thing. His birthday was May 13th, so it will be around that time frame. But I'm really looking forward to it. Again, the fact that I've got people on here, like Patrick right here, New Mexico.
Mhm.
He's gonna come all the way from New Mexico to support one of my tournaments. Brian's coming from Florida. Victor's trying to come from Nebraska. I can't tell you what that means to me. Like it means the world to me that, if anything that Derek left on us was that loving impression. It's just, I think we talked about this a little bit earlier too, like take care of each other.
Yeah.
Let's bring each other up instead of trying to tear each other down. And I've been very guilty of the last month. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've been very down in the dumps. Curtis, I know he knows it. You haven't seen much of it, and even some of these people, that's one of the reasons I don't really do as many lives right now is because I've been trying to get my composure together. And I'm really glad for us to be doing this. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna hush now.
But no, I'll agree with you too. It's the same. I've been down in the dumps too. Life gets heavy, man, real quick, especially during the holidays. But anytime, it does get rough. It sucks, and it's easy to stay down there and all that stuff. But again, we talk about self-regulate all the time, and that's what you're doing, and it's great. And I'm very glad we're doing this too. And I think a little bit more of our therapy is going to come out in Damn Good After Dark.
Oh yes.
Which we'll talk about that later, but
And again, let me do this one more thing,
Yeah.
if you don't mind.
get it.
Another thing about it too is we talked about this. These patches were made by our late friend William Duffel.
Mm.
I would be amiss to not give a shout out to him. And it's kind of weird because as I was getting ready to put up like who to share this with on TikTok, his username popped up, and I was just like, dadgummit. But Will, Godspeed, man, and thank you for your energy, and thanks for helping me get these put together. Just again, can't say enough. I never met Will in person, but it's kind of like Joel said in one of his lives. When he found out Will had passed, he was like, you never met him in person, but he had such an impact on your well-being. So just Will, Godspeed, man.
Absolutely. How are we doing on comments? Anything we need to catch up on or anything like that? Mike, you did a great job.
Thank you. Let's see. Brian says, looking to come up on Thursday a day early.
Nice.
Patrick says, yeah, buddy, my schedule's clear. Funds will allow, of course. Mark says, I'll be there. I think it'd be amiss to see, that's another thing too. Curtis and I met Mark Dillard here.
We did.
He come up during the Huntsville City tournament on a Sunday and talked and took a picture right in front of the logo. So I just think that's the cool thing about it.
It's very cool.
So, but yeah, so a bunch of people are saying they're going to be there. It will be nice to meet face to face with all of you guys and happy to support. That comes from Brian. And he got your portrait like framed.
I saw that.
Dude.
I saw it up on the wall, and my buddy that I paint with a lot, Youngblood, he's in Missouri now.
Mhm.
It's funny because he is much better than I am. He considers his paintings like third grader. But you're looking at him, you're like, oh my god, dude, I couldn't do that with a gun in my head.
Mm.
So as soon as you start painting, you're like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. But then other people take it, and he talks about these like, dude, I have paintings in so many people's houses that think that they're great, and I'm just like, they're fucking terrible. So to see my painting on somebody's wall, that's like surreal. It's like, holy crap, dude.
Mm.
So thank you for the amount of support that you give to all of us. That it goes for everyone out there. It's greatly appreciated. It's not taken lightly.
Hey, Mia. Mia is one of my good friends down at
Yeah.
Bob Howard's.
Yep. So and I think there's a lot of great stuff that will come out of that. Obviously the tournament's gonna be great, but I mean, we're working on things that will happen during the tournament, like we kind of alluded to with Curtis. And we still have a lot of work to do for that specifically. But I think there'll be some fun things in there, rather than just, a regular tournament that we're doing and slap somebody's name on it. I think it's a lot of pride and ownership for it. And I think we may have a few fun things in there to add-ons, if you will, but just extras that you may not normally
Well,
flex and force.
no doubt.
I'm gonna tell you too. So one of the things that is gonna happen is we are going to have his wife, his mother, and his daughter all push a ball down the lane for the ceremonial first ball. I think that's gonna be a really nice spin on it.
That's very cool.
Also for you, Dustin, Brian says it's awesome and it's great to look at every day. I appreciate all 100.
Thank you.
I think this is so interesting though, 'cause this is probably going to be one of the biggest undertakings we've ever had, trying to do this, and I'm really excited to pull this one off.
Yeah. I think it's a challenge for me because I vowed to never run a handicap tournament ever again.
I've heard that more than once.
But here's the thing, like, I put a cap on it. 35 pins max, that's all you need.
I will say, I was there for, I don't know if I want to say progression or the decline into the hatred of him running handicap tournaments. So when he said it's going to be handicap, I was like, wow.
I even knew that too, yeah, just from me being around the past year.
And you know what, I didn't come up with this during our pre-meetings, but I want to go ahead and tell you guys too that another one I am working on, March 7th this year marks the 10th anniversary of the
Yep.
Parkway Fire.
Yep.
So
Yep.
March 16th, which is going to be a week after my final scratch sweeper, which we're going to be.
I actually had, March 7th is when it happened.
Yes, March
Okay.
7th, 2015 is
Yeah.
when the fire happened. March 16th, I am rebooting for one day only the Parkway Memorial Tournament once again.
It's like ECW, one night only.
Yes.
Oh, Parkway, Ethan, Sorry, kid. We were talking some ECW before the show.
Couple of comments on here. Brian says LOL. Mark Dillard says handicap, I'm sandbagging the rest of the season. And Kyle says RIP Parkway.
Yeah.
My buddy Kyle's in here. Which, gotta give him some props. Thanks for the gold hat, buddy. Appreciate you and Curtis.
This one's for you.
Yeah, this one's for you, buddy.
We gotta bring them together.
And I told you
Not with
beforehand, we can only,
Bring the hats together, yeah.
Oh,
There we go, that's
yes.
Thank you.
You know how, we said that, oh my God, I hate myself because I'm drawing a blank with it, but you know what, let's come back to that.
Kyle, good job calming him down. I got the
Yes.
that beforehand, so well played. So glad you could lend your expertise help to them like they
Oh.
needed it.
I know what I said, remember I told you, he was like, he couldn't shoot 729?
Yeah.
Or 730? No,
Yeah.
Kyle shot 729.
I'm not surprised. That's what you guys do.
Oh,
Like,
I wasn't gonna give you 730 that night. I can tell you that right now with the way my knee felt, nah. You gotta listen to your body, Dustin. That's what I did.
I do, unfortunately.
That is something I don't see a lot of bowlers do. You guys will bowl with limbs hanging off. So I just gotta get through league. Just gotta get through league.
You want to hear a funny Derek story while we're thinking?
Yeah.
You reminded me of this. I was doing a tournament at Parkway. He's on 70 and 18. He got so frustrated. I'll pull up in here. He got so frustrated. He started throwing the ball as hard as he could down the middle. He was that frustrated. He goes up there, one ball, right down the middle, and you hear, he threw his shoulder.
Oh.
He dislocated his shoulder. He come back, he goes, well, I guess I'm finished. And he literally got like his stuff packed up, his arms dangling like this. He's dangling, comes back in a cast, and he got, not a cast, but like a
A sling?
a sling. Thank you. And he's like, well, I'm not going to be bowling for 3 weeks. I said, dislocated your shoulder? He goes, yeah. It was a lot of fun then popping it back in too. And of course I remember Larry looked at him going, damn it, D, this is why you don't throw rockets anymore. So, a little fun Derek story for you.
I love that your Derek voice, to
Mhm.
me, sounds like Little Nicky. I don't know if anybody's seen that movie,
Mm-hmm.
but not so much at the end, but especially when he first starts, sounds just like Derek. I love it.
Am I wrong though? Remember when we interviewed him? He was just like,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, and that was the only time, the pre-interview and the show were the only times I think that I briefly met him during the actual fundraiser y'all did here, but I think I was coming back from town or something,
Mhm.
out of town, but I did get to stop by and meet him.
Yeah.
But talk about having an impact, man. I met that dude just the 2 times, and that's it. But I hear so much about him.
Yeah.
He's still impacting, major impact in your life. I still hear that, all the time. That so I mean, that lets me know what kind of guy this dude was. Just how much, all the good things I've heard about him, and it's nonstop, So it's like, who's this Derek guy?
He is.
And I did finally get to meet him, and was like,
Dude, Derek I haven't had one person ever in my entire life say one bad thing about Derek. That's the thing. I think that's the impact. I can't say the same thing, because I've had other people talk a bunch of it, and you know what about me, so hey.
that's
man.
what we're here for. I'm here so you can talk smack to me. Bring it on. Need some exercise.
Oh,
so
man.
no, but I think it's great, man, and I think it's going to be a fantastic turnout, and I think we're going to kill it just because everybody that's going to be involved wants it to be a success.
That's the thing too that I've noticed about the people I was talking to on TikTok. They're like Victor. I talked a little bit to Victor Cortez today, and Victor's like, I really want to see it. I really want to see it flourish.
Yeah.
So the fact that I've got bowlers that are like, the fact that we've got people willing to come out here and support again, just it means the world to me. And I know that it's to tie into our first episode. I'm sure there's going to be some growing pains along the way, like our first episode was, but
Experience. Yeah.
So
I think it'll be great, and we're very excited on this end about it. So I think it's a great thing, and I love the fact that I think it's just going to get bigger as it goes on. Like you said, it's going to be continued in May around his birthday anyway, which I think is great. So I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait because y'all haven't seen it yet, but I am working on a really, I've done crystals and belts and stuff. This is going to be, as the macho man said, the cream of the crop. Rises to the top. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be, great.
Yeah,
I just know that it's going to be something that I know he's going to be smiling down on us for, and I'm really looking forward to maybe in the next couple of podcast episodes we do, I'll be able to unveil it to everybody.
I think we'll probably give updates each episode we do, I would imagine, because we're gonna have standalone meetings for them we've already talked about. So there's a ton of stuff to do, and I'm sure that we will for sure keep everybody updated, because they're gonna want to know as much as we do.
So a couple of comments here to keep us. Brian says, busted out a calf in league and yet kept going. Gen X stubborn.
That's right.
And then Kyle says, finishing league knowing I was getting my forearm cut in half was fun. I'm still not sure which was worse, the broken ribs or the ribs, or I guess he meant the wrist. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So anyway.
no idea what you're talking about on there, so I'm picking it up.
No, when Kyle and I were doing a roll-off on Monday, he was
Yeah.
talking about which injury was worse, knowing he was gonna have to have surgery.
Oh, before, like a
Yeah,
previous one?
yeah.
Okay.
No, like he was bowling. It's kind of like when Cody Rhodes tore his pec, and they were like, well, he can wrestle because he can't hurt it anymore. That's kind of how Kyle was during that time. You remember that time?
Yeah.
He
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, we knew he needed surgery in
Yeah,
February.
yeah.
And I even like, we won the first 2 quarters. We got DQ'd in the 3rd quarter because he tried to bowl left-handed and somebody called us out on that. And it was a rule. That's a rule.
Yeah.
We're playing by the rules. That's fine.
Yeah, here's to you that called it out on it. But it is a rule. Plus it's Kyle who's a
Yeah.
dominating force on
Yeah.
the lanes.
And we won 20 points that night with him bowling lefty. And we ended up having to forfeit 22 points. So we were essentially not, because remember, the rule is if you win all 4 quarters, there's no roll-off. It's like we're undisputed at that point.
Yeah.
And we had it. We were 20 points in front. We were about to be 35 to 40, and then they DQ'd us on that. So we had to take
Was.
that. And then, so after that happened, but here's the thing, after that happened, we were like, I looked at Kyle, I said, dude, I'm shutting you down for the year. Like, I'm being a GM at that point going,
Yeah.
we need you for the playoffs. And we did, like, we took like 4 weeks. And the thing about it was we won the 4th quarter.
I'm not surprised.
I know you're not.
You say it like
No, it's funny.
5 years running.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, like, y'all, I know y'all look at me and y'all think, oh my God, he's just like 5 years in a row. I get that, but the amount, you have no idea the amount of immense pressure that we put on ourselves.
I
year
do.
in,
That's
year
why I
out.
like to break your balls.
I know the amount of pressure I put on your team
Thank you.
specifically.
Yeah, like we sit here one night and told him we won 23. He goes, I want 24.
On the chips, I said, win or don't go home. Don't come home.
I'm
Win or don't
fully
come home.
aware, and I'll break your balls regardless.
Mm.
That's just what I do to those that I love.
Balls.
Breaking.
But yeah, like, Kyle, I think we all agree with this sentiment. He says, and rest in peace, Derek. You are extremely missed and missed greatly.
Yep. I agree.
I miss you, buddy. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, the worst feeling in the world is the day I got the call from his mom. There is nothing worse than a mom's sorrow and a mom's grief, a parent's grief. Because it took me back to when my granddaddy found out about my dad, and it just took me back to all of that again. And I was actually doing a live in the shop, and I got the call. So, and the bad part about it is, it's like, and I haven't told many people this, but he called me about a week and a half before. And I'm in the middle of eating at Baumhauer's, and he says, Michael, they're not liking the prognosis. And I said, okay, so what are you gonna do? He goes, we're gonna do this. And he was fighting, man was fighting. What do you do in that situation when your friend looks at you and says, Michael, I don't wanna die? That was very sombering for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I can't help him. It's like, I felt so helpless. It's like, how do you come, I'm asking rhetorically, like,
Right.
how do you, but it's just that thing, it was like, but I think what comes down to is, again, like you said earlier, nobody's had a bad thing to say about the guy. I will tell people that. I will tell his daughter, as long as she wants a story, you've got stories about D and everything, and it's just, like I said, I miss him so freaking much. Like, my mom even called me on it, like, not in a bad way, but she was like, this is your first friend, like, your really close friend you've lost, haven't you? I said, yeah, it is. I haven't lost, lost a parent, lost grandparents, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't lost a friend. And he was 36.
Yeah.
And I think that does something, because you and I are older than 36, of course. And again, that's not a bust to you, but I'm just saying, like, and Curtis was talking about it one day too, it's like, wow, like, that was,
Very premature.
yeah, he's young.
It's like we're older, so I don't feel invincible, but I also don't expect to pass away tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's
That's just, yeah.
it's close to my age.
Yeah, I lost that invincibility feeling a few years ago. For a long time.
Anyway, thanks for letting me
Of course,
talk
dude.
that out, man. So I want to, but again, Derek Tate Memorial Tournament, it is our Starcade project.
Yes.
And that's not even the biggest one yet. I don't know what the biggest one is.
Find out when we get
But
there.
we'll find out when we get there,
Yeah.
boys. All right.
No, a lot of great stuff. Did you have anything else on that?
Oh, no.
Okay. So I think with that, because I'm pretty sure we can easily keep going,
Mhm.
you know,
But,
for the sake of this one.
yeah.
And I think Derek's actually gonna come back up later in the episode when we get to the show reviews. But let's move on to a general damn good average bowler of the year in review.
Yes.
Of all, this is very exciting until by Curtis's.
Perfect timing.
Thank you, Curtis.
Yes, we're as excited as Curtis is. But no, that's one thing that I like about being a part of the DGAB group, is how many different things that we do. It's not just a podcast. This has become like our flagship, the DGAB podcast. But there are so many other things that are already going on that were kind of, you already had the hot sauce spare challenge in mind. We'll get to that. That was one of the first things I saw before I was working with you. So there's so many things going on, and it continues to get bigger. We were talking about pre-show, what do we, I think you were asking, what do we want our goals to be, you know, for 2025, great question. But it's like, man, we have so many things already. So I think that that's a great question. We can figure out what we want to focus on. What are the goals?
Well, if you ask Mark Dillard here, he says Curtis needs more dad jokes.
He's getting at him, don't worry. Do not worry there, because that's actually a segment in year in review right here.
Yeah.
I didn't put it in there, but it'd be
Oh.
underneath customer states, I think. Go ahead.
And Brian said facts 100.
Yes.
They
So,
love you, buddy.
Curtis has got plenty more dad jokes coming. If you do it Saturday mornings, it's a new segment for sure.
Yay.
I thought of a name earlier, maybe Silly Saturdays or something like that, because we like to do them Saturday mornings. We're definitely not letting that go. They're killing it with that. Mike, you're doing fantastic, buddy.
Thank you.
Curtis, you just keep being you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So year in review, everything that's going on for DGAB. Let's start with Mike. This is kind of your thing, and I often forget how many of these you do. Man. I'm serious. Like, you do so many of these. Let's talk about your sweepers.
Yeah, so the scratch sweepers, we got away from the sport shots. Les was wanting to go more recreational oil patterns. So I put together 16 weeks of modified house shots. And there goes Dustin, like the whisper in the wind. But no, the scratch sweepers, you know, the thing about it is I feel like it could be better, but I don't know what can be done for it to be better. I think that's the best way that I can say that respectfully. If you will. Message your best ones for Mike. Okay, there you go. Hey, Brian already sends me a ton of them. That's where I get the jokes from. So thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.
It causes boo. Mark, oh, I do. But no, like, just speaking of the scratch sweepers, it's like we did the plastic ball only, and what happens? Okay, you come up with a fun concept, and what happens, Curtis? You get some. No, I got 10 for
Yeah,
it.
10.
I got 10 for it, and then out of those 10, I have someone come up to me and ask me about the validity of the plastic balls. And it's like, no, I mean, like, I'm serious. Like, I'm not. Sprue, thanks for the follow, by the way. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for those unique tournaments, like the plastic ball only. And then we even went the following week after that. It was like house ball only. I had 6. I had 6 people, and you know what's funny about that? Posted the highlights or lowlights, and I had like 12 people comment on it within the first 30 minutes of the video saying, I would have signed up for this. This looks like fun. This is great. And I'm like, and I'm sitting thinking to myself here, it's like, where's the energy locally? And I'm not saying that to be like, I'm not trying to say that to sound like an a-hole. Like, I'm legitimately asking, rhetorically, of course.
I think it doesn't need to be rhetorical.
But I asked a legit question. Yeah, like Kyle said it right here in the chat. I won with a white dot.
Yeah.
That had no core in it. Kyle shot 730 with a spare ball, Dustin. I know you're not amazed. You're not surprised.
Very amazed.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
But my point is, it's like, where do we get to this point where, I understand if people want to make suggestions. That's fine. Give me suggestions to help make it grow. I got enough complaints. No, I got enough complaints. That all that does is take the energy out of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you have something that will help me make it better, I'm all for it. But to look at everybody and go, we had 10 for the plastic ball only, we had 6 for the house ball only. I don't know. Let's see, Brian says, I wish my local house would do these as well. The blind challenge looks fun as well. So that's another thing I would love for us to get here. You ever heard of that, the blind challenge? Where they put the...
Did I send you one of those?
Yes, you did.
I saw that. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was so
no,
excited. I did. I
Yeah.
sent you a TikTok
Yes.
of that. So that's the only time I'd seen that. I thought it was freaking awesome.
They do it all the time in Samoa.
Dude!
They do it all the time in
Do you know what he's talking about
Yeah,
yet?
yes.
There we go. Boom. Boom. It just went Dustin just went nuclear, folks.
Oh, that's nuclear.
That's what I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah, see, Mark says Smyrna does it all the time here. Yeah, Smyrna does it all the time.
I love that.
Yeah, if there was a way for us to get this going, that would be
That'd be
great.
super cool.
I mean, because it's like, because you guys can come back here on the monitors and go, oh, I left that.
For those that don't know what we're talking about, would you please explain it?
So what they do is they give you a certain amount of feet down the lane for you to see.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, but they blind you out from seeing the pins. So when you let the ball go, you don't know what you left until you come back and look at the monitor and go, oh, I left that, or
Yeah.
oh, I struck, or whatever.
I loved it, dude. You're
I mean-
throwing basically underneath the curtain
Yeah,
and then seeing what you leave.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe a third of the lane. You think you get that much? That'd be 20 feet?
maybe to
15
the
feet?
arrows.
It's not a
I
whole
mean,
lot.
Mark, let's see, we call it the curtain turn. Yeah, Mark, if you
Yeah.
don't mind, how far do they put the curtain at Smyrna? I'm really curious. I don't know if they do it right before the arrows or
That
not.
could even be a lead, dude.
Oh man, dude, I don't.
As soon as I did the only time I'd seen anything like that, I
Arrows.
sent it to you right away,
Yeah.
and I was like, dude, this is so. I forgot about it.
Yeah. Let's see, maybe monthly instead of weekly like the old days. Kyle, see, these are the kind of, like, if people have these kind of ideas and suggestions, I'm all for it.
But I want to address something you said earlier
Yeah.
about the complaints. Like, you get enough complaints.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge thing, maybe in the military, I don't know, but it's basically like, hey, look, complaints are fine if you have a proposed solution.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a complaint with nothing behind it, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Shut your effing mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring a complaint or problem unless you have a proposed solution. There's a second part of that. Anybody can complain. Anybody can bitch, cry, complain. That's easy to do. That's just what losers do with no proposed solutions.
Yeah.
So if you got a problem with something, come up with a solution. You know what I mean? That's just a tip. Write that
I
down.
don't mind, and like you said, I don't mind listening to your complaints. But after that, we gotta have solutions.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I've already been teaching my kids that. You know what I mean? Don't bring a problem through without a proposed solution. I'll help you find one,
Yeah.
but not just a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Complaint.
No, you know, yeah. Let's see here. Looking at the chat here, I think Mark says, I think it's just in front of the arrows. So you at least try to see what target you're hitting, you just
Yeah.
can't see the result.
That'd be very cool.
That would be pretty cool. So, there you go.
I like it.
But you're talking about, like, you know, the scratch sweepers, I don't know what the answer is. Like I said, we've got, tomorrow is 41 Foot Main Street, which is a modified house shot. And we've got the schedule and everything, y'all see that, y'all know what that is, so I don't, need to go into there. Let's see, make it live with a commentator, bring some production value with it, maybe. We are trying, Kyle.
Yeah.
We are trying.
That's great. I totally, we agree.
We would just, what we gotta do though, in order for us to do this, we've gotta have a soundproof booth.
That'd be
Because
great.
if they heard us three in there doing the commentary,
Yeah.
dude, they wwouldn't be able to focus because we'd be laughing all the
But
time.
I even said before too, like as a joking thing, as we're getting ready for this show today, is like we need a staff
Yeah.
because it's for the most part, it's the three of us
Yes.
doing everything that we do. We do get a minimal help. We have some people here that help us this and that.
Mhm.
But I mean, as far as fully engrossed,
Mhm.
and because some things we don't want to let out, you know what I mean, or see this or that.
Right.
But it's pretty much just three of us for all of this type of stuff that we do. So there's a whole lot more we want to do,
Mm.
but we're kind of limited. But you're correct. I'll agree with you.
Kyle says, I can help y'all out. If you need something, just let him know. So, okay, cool. I can help in my spare time.
Actually, that's gorgeous. We appreciate that, Kyle. We'll put you to use with it. Not to point, sorry.
Mhm.
But I think that's a great point we were talking about earlier for the tournament, for Derek's tournament. with the stuff that Curtis is going to be doing and things going on, we were like, hey, we're going to need people to help with that for sure. You know what I mean? So that might be one thing, like even if we can get a sheet of volunteers, a few people that like legit, hey, we will be there and we can help with whatever needs. We're going to need help with that.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea, Kyle. We do appreciate that, man.
I'm definitely taking Kyle. I know you said Taylor would help me with scores. I'm definitely gonna need that.
Yeah.
So please let Taylor know next time you talk to her.
So
Let's see, another thing, I mean, are you going through the list of stuff? Or am I
we'll
going down the list?
we'll go down the list. Yeah, we do need to move on because
Yeah.
we've got a lot of stuff to go over. So
Mhm.
we're just doing the year in review still. So the sweepers are going great. We do need to get you more support, buddy. I feel bad for not being at those supporting.
And again, it's not like I'm sitting here and I am trying to figure out, again, like you said, I'm trying to figure out a solution.
Mhm.
Because I would love to have more people. And again, you know, we don't say politics on here. Everybody knows why. But if the fact of the matter remains that it is something political, then I can't help that. So my hands are tied
I
there.
don't think it would be.
I don't know, but you know, just I'm putting that out for forethought. Just like that's what it is, and somebody tells me off the camera or whatever, then okay, fine. It is what it is what I'm saying. So, but let's see the next one.
Some other things we had go that were great. I loved these. Was the hot sauce spare challenge.
Boo.
Hey man, first episode, season 1, the pilot was
I am the
just
OG.
right out.
Yeah.
The OG. Listen to him.
Oh man, I remember that because I wasn't working with you yet. Really, we had talked in the pro shop. That was the first summer that I was here, and you had said, "Hey, DGAB, I want to do a podcast. I want to do spare check." Do I have something with you? Or you
No, that was me.
Okay.
That was me.
I thought it was assigned to me. I was like,
No, that was me.
But you had mentioned the hot sauce spare challenge, and then you were doing it.
Yeah.
Like I've mentioned that on a lot of these shows. That's where I was like, oh, okay, this dude's not just running his yapper. He's actually doing what he's talking about. You were there helping. Tanya was helping set up the stitching cord. I was like, oh shit, this guy's actually doing stuff. So I think that's when I really was like, okay, I'm in to whatever you want to do and however you want my help. And I remember just the fear in your eyes. You were so scared. It was quite adorable.
That's adorable. That was horrible.
It was fun. Hey, I volunteered myself.
Yes.
I did episode 1, season 2.
Yeah.
That was all for you, buddy. And I went as a sampling.
And you didn't even take the hottest of the
No, well, I took
Yeah.
the hottest of the hot of the time we had.
And that hit him instantly
Oh,
too.
yeah.
It
He's
did.
like, how did you swallow the
And
chicken?
now people are eating. It's like, oh, this wasn't that bad. I'm like, wow, the worst of what I had. And they're like, oh, it's whatever.
We talk about, we've got memorable moments coming up,
Yeah.
but I just thought of one of mine, because it really, dude, I thought we killed Coach Harden that day.
Oh yeah.
When I look down there and all I see is his feet sticking out from like the motorcycle. His shoes we knocked his shoes off.
No, he took his shoes off.
Michael, thank you.
Yes. Listen, for legality reasons, we have to say that.
Anywho, and it wasn't his mouth, it was his stomach, but that was one of my favorite times. But I've had a great time with that. We've gotten through 2 seasons, 2 6-episode seasons of the Hot Sauce Spare Challenge. To me, that's one of the funnest things that we do. Anything?
Somebody's telling me that oh, it's Francis. She says, Mike, that is not water. I know it's not.
So I think we will be doing more of the Hot Sauce Spare Challenges, but we have a season of the Strike Derby coming up next. I believe we're going to be looking at that in the
Probably around April.
spring time frame. Will that be spring?
Yes. When things slow down.
Yeah, we will spring forward to the strike derbies because I like those are a lot of fun too. We've got different ways we can do those.
I think I want to do like remember I was doing it on Sunday night and we were doing one on Monday night.
Mhm.
I want to incorporate like I just think like the little $10 wager. I think it's for a little bit of money, but it's not harmless. I'm not sitting here asking, hey, $100 to do this. Or,
Right.
You know, $10 is harmless.
Yeah.
And you know, I think we're going to utilize the Bean Boozle again too.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
I fear that more than the hot sauce.
A lot of fun. But what do you guys think of the things we've done? The Hot Sauce Spare Challenge. We mentioned the Strike Derby too. That'll be coming back. Another one of yours, Mikkel. The Calling All Bowlers.
Mm-hmm.
That one is one that's just popped off.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually another one of my memorable moments.
Mhm. See, nobody, look, here's the thing. And we've had our conversation about it.
Yeah.
But that came about when I had to do episode 4 by myself, having not a clue of how to host, not hoist, host. Y'all get if y'all know what I'm talking about, referencing with hoist, say it in the comments. Say it in the comments. But I had no idea what I was doing, and I never forget. Like I don't know if you were out of town or if you were sick or something. I don't know. It was something. You weren't feeling good or whatever. And y'all know how I feel about canceling stuff. I don't like when I've advertised it. Like we're gonna go with it. That's what it is. And I was like, you know what? The worst that's gonna happen is I'm gonna fall on my face. And I'll never forget Curtis came in and says, "How you doing?" And I'm like, I need help. But we got through it. It was like 35 minutes. That was probably our shortest episode ever, which was
Not probably.
No, it was. Right, it was our shortest episode. But I got the idea for calling all bowlers. I was like, you know what? Like, I put myself in your shoes hosting this, and I was like, and the next thing I thought about was, it's like, I want to try this. Not only that, I want to try to interview at least one person from all 50 states. So now my evolution of calling all bowlers is I've got to find myself a map of the states, and I like your idea. We're going to put a DGAB like patch or sticker or something on the state that we've interviewed.
You're gonna put a little hairy beaver on every.
That's right.
Every state you've done.
Yeah, every state I've done, and I'm gonna tell you, in 17 episodes, I have covered 15 states already.
I bet we could get a few more sent in right now. So tell us your state.
Yep. I can tell you guys too, I am working on the next episode for that. I don't know a date yet, but it is going to be Mr. Victor Cortez. So that is going to be a very high profile type, because Victor is well known on TikTok for his description of how bowling balls react on different various shots. So keep that in mind. Mark, I know Tennessee, you know me, I got the Tennessee twins from Tennessee, but I need to bring you on for that. Yes, so we'll get there. But yeah, so that idea came. So if anything, you didn't know about it, but you were indirectly responsible for it. So you do have that.
Which is why I was so upset, was like, that'd be like me deciding I want to learn how to bowl and go off by myself, like somewhere else, and try to teach myself to bowl, when I've got you that could be working with me, teaching me how to bowl.
Listen, I appreciate that, but I would not hate on you for it. I'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it. Then I'd be like, you need my help.
Well, something like this, man, if you got somebody that's teaching you, you know how I feel.
No, I know, I get it.
That's a segment.
It's tongue in cheek, by the way.
I know. What we're talking about after that, I was quite upset when I saw that. I learned of it the first time, his first episode, when he was doing it live. I got to watch it. And I guess what I'm like, it was upset for me because like, why? And we just had a meeting like a couple days before. Or fairly recently before, and then he's doing this. It's like, why did you not allow me to help you prep for this or anything? That was my frustrations. I was absolutely proud. That's, again, another main reason that I like working with these guys, that I like Mike's style, is because, hey, you identified something that you're not good at. Oh, shit, this is hard. I want to learn how to do this. So you create your own segment with other checklists. This is one of those segments that's taken off. People are loving this. I've got to join in on a few of them. You know what I mean? Calling up boulders is going nowhere because it's a great segment. And I bet in 2025 we could probably finish the 50. We get damn close.
Yeah.
We come up with a reasonable number that's a goal. Huh? Yeah, I didn't even know that I should have won there, but
damn.
yeah, there you go. No, but I'm being for real, and I'll wrap it up. But just the fact that you have identified a weakness of yours, I want to get better. Let's get better by doing it. Again, that's you don't see that much.
I brought that up too because that's one of my standout moments.
It's fucking awesome. Pardon my language.
Hey, we got our one.
We got our one.
We got our one.
We still get PG-13, but I'm very proud of you for that.
But here's another thing that it led to as well. You're going to go into it. Our educational series idea came from all this. So it really comes down to what did we like? What, even if these things didn't always go according to plan, what spawned or what came from them? And educational series, like we've done what, 7 segments?
And we've got the whole thing, but yeah, we've shot and filmed 7, right? And we've got 6 more to go. They're already written out. That's genius from you. That came from one comment, I think. Guy saying, hey, I forget his name, but hey, could you give a bowler that's been out of the game for 20 years some tips? That's what it all spawned from. And I think we
That was
both
a vibe,
had,
too.
yeah, I think as soon as they said that, we both had the same thought. So it was like, boom,
Synergy.
this is gorgeous, yeah. You had the whole outline done, you know, we were like, boom. So the educational series, I think, is one of those that we're all extremely proud of. I'm very proud of the educational series.
Kyle also has a comment here. He says, I'm also reminding the crew, I need more color choices for the jerseys. Don't care what color, just more.
Good point, and actually, we did not get to that in our meeting. That's something we still have. Again, we got a lot of stuff to do.
2025 is jam-packed right now. We
Yes.
got a lot of stuff we want to get to.
But that's actually on our list, so good call out, Kyle.
Yes, and Mark with his awesome comments here, he says, haven't bowled in 20 years, tip number 1, don't. Oh man, always the jokester, Mark, I love you, buddy. But also, like, yeah, educational series, and then I think it would be a mess if, I honestly, again, I think this was kind of our brainchild for this, but the customer states were stemmed. And I'm gonna tell you where they were stemmed from. One of y'all, I can't remember, one of y'all came in there and I was frustrated. I was having a very frustrating day in the shop. And I even think maybe one of y'all witnessed that frustration with customers. And I think you're the one that spawned it, the whole idea, and was like, hey man, we need to make segments out of this. And I got to thinking, it was like, it's so funny you brought that up, because later that night I'm on TikTok scrolling through, and here comes kind of a similar video, but it wasn't bowling, it was like retail.
Yeah.
Like they were acting like
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
at a JC Penney's or
Yeah.
something, and like it was like, hey, can you help me find this? Oh, I don't work here, or just something.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this has got to be the universe saying, hey, we really need to do this. And that's when we really sat down. I think we did 9. If my number's right, I think we did 9 customer states.
And we were able to pull in, I don't know if I should say this or not, the book
A book?
of the list.
Your book.
Oh, yes, we used that as now
A
that was
reference
over 18 years worth of stuff.
But we're talking about spawning.
Yes, yeah.
And I mean, that's the same type of crap you deal with in every industry. So as proud as I am of the educational series, because that's like all professional and such, the customer states has been probably the funnest thing that we've done, or one of the most fun.
Mark says, you had a couple of great cash or card CSRs that day I was there. So he witnessed it
Yeah.
firsthand. There
Yeah.
you go. Look, here's the deal, y'all. I don't want to be frustrated. I don't wake up in the morning going, I hope somebody really tests my patience today. But it happens.
I don't want to wake up and be a prick. I'm just really good at it, and that's
Yeah.
what y'all prefer me as.
I
So
don't,
here we
it's kind of
go.
like Bill Engvall said. You know, I didn't wake up this morning wanting to be a jackass, but you just pushed my jackass button.
See, I used to be that way. No, I wake up and choose violence every morning now. Every morning.
Now,
It's
Curtis.
preferred.
Curtis. Try not to get kicked off the air here.
We're still good.
We're still
Dude,
real
I've
good.
seen what these people spew on their lives, F-bombs and drink and everything.
Oh, I know.
All right.
Because, look, we're giving you guys a preview of, and you're going to get to it, DGAB.
Oh, yeah, after dark.
Sorry, I was
There you-
still gonna get used to that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we didn't have that on the list here.
Yeah.
But we did have it on the list. The Damn Good After Dark. We've gotten to do, call it 2 episodes. We did
We did a 2-part premiere.
a 2-part, yeah, very well done. Thank
Call
you.
it the pilot.
Yeah,
Call it the pilot.
I do like the 2-part premiere. That's adding some sex appeal to it. I had a lot of fun with that, and
Brian, this is pointed to you. Says the guy that doesn't laugh at jokes.
Tell me a good joke and I'll laugh.
You already have.
Which one?
All of them. Brian says you're breaking too.
You're breaking. I'm breaking.
Hey, Francis says you never laugh at jokes, shaking her head. I'm just saying what the. All right, Kyle, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you, buddy. Go ahead. Just stating what the people are saying.
I like it. Yeah, After Dark. So I believe we've decided that is moving forward,
Mhm.
Yes.
and it'll just be starting. It's going to be exactly what it says. It's Damn Good After Dark. We've looked for a place to come to where we don't have to worry about maintaining the PG rating.
Mhm.
Where we're going to talk about. It's not to say everything except bowling. We can talk about bowling in there, but that's a place where we can talk about everything else. Speak freely. I joked earlier about it being a therapy session for us. But no, where we can just go and let it hang out and talk how we want about what we want. Bring you guys with us. We have some segments in there too, so it is structured, but it's free. You know what I mean? So I've really enjoyed doing that, and I think that's going to be good for us all. I think we've decided every 2 weeks
Yes.
we're going to shoot for, so that's also coming as well, and I've enjoyed that, so that's going to be a good one.
I agree.
Anything on that, fellers?
Well, Mark says he loves After Dark and that he can really be himself during that. LOL.
True story.
Law.
So I think that covers most of the year in review of things that we've done. If we've done anything we didn't mention, why don't we go over while we're here? Let's do a year in review of the merch, baby.
Oh, okay.
Merch it up.
Well, you guys know I was kind of doing the hats before anything, but
Mhm.
I really think when I knew that we were really expanding into our own, is when we ended up with the DGAB jerseys.
Yep.
Curtis can display one better. I've obviously got the average bowler, the PG rated shirt. And some people out there don't have a sense of humor, of course. So that's why I come up with this one. Another thing is like I said, we got the patches. These would look great on all your bowling bags out there. So contact me about
And
getting
jerseys.
one.
I need to have mine put on my on my CW jersey. I think it's gonna look great.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then
Shotties.
there you go.
There you go.
All right, where you at? Okay, we're on the force. So, and then I even went as far as doing car decals
Stick arrows.
because I had a guy come up to me and go, I would totally put a car decal on my
I need
truck.
to put one on here.
Yeah,
In the last one.
there you go. There you
Well,
go, buddy. Here, you know what? You know what's better than
I'm
one?
gonna do
You know what's better than one?
Does he have room for two?
I think so.
Two. Look at that. Booyah! God, that looks great. See, it works.
Bump that shit out. You'll see it next
Okay,
week. I like it.
listen. I gotta answer this. Okay.
Please do.
Chamois. Listen.
Yeah.
I want to.
Great idea.
I want to.
Yeah. We all do.
So, the only way that's going to be pulled off is I'm going to look away. And these two are going to be the one that implements it. And I'm going to look away if that were to ever happen. Y'all know why.
Yes.
Okay.
What he's referring
That's
to
all
is
I'm saying.
conflict of interest.
Yes.
Because he works in a pro shop. We don't sell the jerseys in the pro shop.
Nope.
You know what I mean? We don't sell anything that could compete with the pro shop in there. That's what he's saying. We have, just like everything else we've done, all of the different segments and things and tournaments and whatnot. It's the same with merch. We have a ton of merchandise that we're wanting to get to that's on the list to get to. Chamois is definitely one of them. It's just not really a possibility right now.
Mhm.
We will definitely revisit that. It's definitely on the list. We have discussed it numerous times, trust me. You're not the first, you won't be the last to mention that, I guarantee you. But yeah, it's a work in progress.
Yes. Tons of ideas. We love it. We love
Yes.
it, and we want to get to it.
I'm actually quite excited about the DGAB 2.0 jersey that we're
Yes.
going to be putting together next. So,
So,
all right.
let's see here. What was on the agenda, sir?
I believe we're moving back over to you, and we will discuss the DGAB podcast guests that we have not gotten to yet. Because we've already talked about a few of them with Chase and Bobby and
Derek.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then let's start with the first one, because we talked about it a little bit, just the podcast in general. The first one we did.
That's a standout moment, boys.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was long, but it was fun.
Man, I don't remember if you had told we talked time, because I've done my podcast, I've hosted comedy shows, I've done a lot of that type of stuff. And I think that you had said or something, but I remember the time you mentioned before, how long we thought it was gonna be. It's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, dude. I mean, and that's 3 hours of sitting here doing the show.
Yeah.
Not 3 hours of the tournament and I'm moving around and how'd this go, and then over there I'm going lane 17
We all
of
sit.
like this.
Yeah.
Because we had guests we brought, who were the guests on the first show?
We brought in J.C. Campbell, Kelly Smith, and Derwin Green.
Yeah.
JC and Kelly are still staples of our daily
Yep.
average bowlers league.
Yeah.
Cool note of fact, out of the 3 tournaments we've had, Kelly has made 2 cuts.
Nice.
Top 8 cuts. JC made 1 this last time. So, and the thing about it is, I'd be amiss not to mention it, but Kelly averages just a little over 100. And she's made 2 out of 3 cuts. So anybody that comes on here and says, oh, I only average 100 or 110 or 120, I'm not listening to it, because you can make the cut just as well as anybody else.
Yeah, because you get a lot of sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I love how I'm looking at this, and we've had guests, but on our very first episode, we decided that we were going to have multiple guests
We
and
did.
try to slot them into time.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was like a full production show.
Yeah.
It was the pre-tournament show.
We were trying to hit the ground running
We
on that
did.
one, and that was fun. That was really fun.
I think what made that episode is we lost our YouTube feed,
Yeah.
and now I have first part, second part in the archives on the YouTube channel.
I just remember someone running late, and that's in the background, like, how long is this segment? Push out a little longer, they're not here yet. They're gonna be at the door soon, all this
Yeah.
stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But you guys never knew that, and we kept it cool, but that was, I remember all that.
That's where your experience came into play,
Yes.
Dustin.
That's what I was just thinking. Is like, for me, I was like, I could see all of this stuff and I knew what was going on here. I mean, but to watch you guys because you can tell somebody something, right? Like, hey, it's gonna be like this. But until you experience it, you're like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and then you experience it. Oh, now I get it. You know what I mean? So I'm watching you guys learn, and I was like,
I
wow.
just remember stretching out Kelly, and then I had a little paper and did look to Dustin saying, Derwin's here. And he's like, and I saw him see it, but he never broke what he was doing. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I think he saw it. I think we're gonna go ahead. And that's why he grabbed it. I'm like, oh, this dude knows what he's doing. You would never knew I was communicating with him.
But no, man, we pulled it off, and again, I mean, like, my thing was, and I think that's one of the first times, like I said, we were having a conversation about it. That's when I found out you brought the infamous line to me in the shop. Dude, you want to do a podcast? Dude, I know about podcasting.
I do.
Like, no, I'm serious. Like, but
Yeah.
I think it would come down to it was like it was your energy. Like when I said, "Hey man, I'm thinking about trying to get a podcast put together," and you were like here in the headlight, like excited like a little kid on Christmas morning.
That's what I do.
He's like, that's what I do. And but that right there, again, it's just, to me, it was the universe doing what it was supposed to do. Like, I had an idea, and obviously the universe thought it was a really good idea, because otherwise, again, like if I'd have had somebody that just didn't have their proverbial shot together. But I think that's the thing about it too, is like the first thing that got me is you said, hey man, if we do this, put this together, I'm gonna dress up in everything. And yeah, you're known as 2 nicknames here, the beard and the suit. The beard and the suit.
Good
So
call.
over 13, we're on episode 13, so 13 episodes of the DGAB podcast. And Dustin came out hitting the ground running as the suit and the beard. Hi, Miss Maya. Welcome in.
So who do we have following JC and Kelly? Derwin.
Yes, Derwin was actually, remember, Derwin was first.
Yes.
And then
they were saying-
JC and Kelly were coming back from out of town.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was that.
That's what it
backwards.
was.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think you talked to them before we did their segment, because you were like, hey, I'm gonna pre-interview them, because you were bowling them. You and Greg were bowling them that night,
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
And that's when you're like, hey man, you guys are gonna do this? Okay, cool. And then you
Yeah.
started like doing your thing.
Mhm.
And that's when I looked at Curtis, I was like, man, this is gonna be good. because you had, experience.
Yeah.
I cannot, and I bring this to the table, no pun intended.
Nope.
But that's the thing, if I'm gonna give anybody a couple of bowling tips out there, look for the experience, okay? Now, there's a difference between experience, and there's a difference between being very full of yourself about stuff. But look for the experience. The experience does not
Lie.
lie. Like, the biggest thing I looked at, and I look at that stuff now, is preparedness. Like, being prepared. Like, I am so, like, ADD, ADHD, whatever you will, about being prepared. Like, I'm sitting there always thinking in my mind, okay, if something could go wrong, what could go
Yeah.
wrong? And then crisis management, that, just in case. And I think we did pretty good for the first episode, boys, because we had a lot of crises there, but we made it work.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned experience, because next guest has a lot of experience. He's a coach.
Mm.
Yeah.
And he's actually a coach of your boy during the year when we interviewed him. Correct?
Correct.
Is this factual?
This is factual.
Therefore, though, but now he is not. Is this factual?
Correct.
Okay.
According to the school district, correct. But he's still my kid's coach
Yeah.
because he knows what he's doing. I've actually looked up the definition of coach. If anybody wants to play along, it's great. And I'm like, oh. All right.
All right, a couple quick quotes here. Maya DeB says, I'm very honored to have been a guest on Calling All Bowlers. Thank you, Miss Maya. I love you, girl. You're awesome. And your husband's a hoot, too. One thing I remember is like, the very first time we had Maya on, just like in the box, kind of like Curtis was on one of my lives. I didn't know it was her husband, but her husband was talking like this stuff that just seemed out of character, so I blocked him. And she goes, I think you just blocked my husband. I said, oh my God, I had to go back in there and unblock him, because I was like, I didn't know. But I am so glad, like, knowing Miss Maya, she's in Vegas.
Yep.
And freaking awesome, great person. Nobody's gone and followed her. Maya DeB, please give her a follow. But she says, I'm very honored I've been a guest. And Brian also says, you guys as a team are great together and make things happen without a doubt.
No diggity. Well, that's what I was going to comment on episode 1 was, I mean, yeah, a lot of things went wrong, but I mean, I've been through operations that are a lot worse. But we all had the perspective of like, this is happening. Like it doesn't matter what happens to us, like we're doing this and it's happening.
Mhm.
Like you said, what if this, what if that? Cool.
Mhm.
What if everything, but I mean, at the time we decided this is what we're doing and it's happening.
F it, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it live.
We Bill O'Reilly.
We did.
Um,
You put it on the screen and I'll read it.
Moving back to our second guest, we still got a lot of stuff.
I know.
to
I'm
get to
sorry.
here, so
This is what a 1 year. This is what a 1 year show is about. Okay, we're here. Let's do it.
our second guest was at the time the coach of the Hazel Green
High school
bowling team, which my 7th grader was bowling on for the first time. Great coach, knows a lot. There's a few Kegels in the area, and they're all pretty good bowlers, I do believe. And so, again, when I was starting to rant about, you kicked my blood pressure up with this. It's crazy that my kids, one of the things that'll roll their eyes, what do I say all the time? Words have meaning. It's crazy that words have actual meaning, you know? And coach is one of those words that has meaning. You're supposed to know what you're talking about to teach people. That's what a coach is. So, anyway, this year he is not the Hazel Green's coach anymore. Something happened. I don't know exactly. If I'm being honest, I don't know. I don't care what happened. But the adult in charge of the bowling team this year does not know what they are doing at all. Not even the etiquettes, bowling etiquettes. Then she's not the only coach that doesn't know. I'm done with they them. She doesn't know what she's doing at all. And made some very immature childish calls during high school matches where she's supposed to be in charge. But there's other coaches that don't know too. Like I'm talking about when if you're in charge of a group of high school kids, a sports team, you should at least have control of them, I believe. You know what I mean? So when you can't teach them the etiquettes of the game, because you either don't know them or don't care, that's a problem to me. So, yeah. Coming up next season, there's issues with the whole sports department there, if that's acceptable to coach in that manner. But, I mean, so we'll see. Definitely going to come back to that.
But you're saying, but James was good at doing
James
it.
was great. He's still my kid's coach. We still call him coach. She had a problem with him, I think. There's a lot of, it's terrible stuff. She's a terrible individual, terrible coach. Shouldn't be there to begin with.
And Brian says, ouch, that hurts on the coaching aspect.
What do you want? That's the truth. I tell my kids all the time, am I wrong?
Where's the lie? No, but to your point, this is the thing, okay? This is what I always tell people while I'm giving them a lesson. I'm like, look, whatever you take from what I'm trying to teach you, understand something. You are going to have, and I think I said this to your boys before too, I was like, everybody's going to have 1 million coaches in their face. I don't mean like literally in their face, but I mean like trying to help them. And at the end of the day, you need to minimize it to 2 people you know and trust the most, and let that be it.
No, I get that, but I mean, this is the individual that's supposed to be in charge of these high school kids.
I understand that. You can't control that factor. That they're going to be what they're going to be. And the way to get around that is like, what can you control? Well, outside of it, you can control who they get coached by. They can make a decision too if they feel comfortable. So my thing is, it's just like from a respected position, like, okay, yeah, like you're basically, It's like what you said to me before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And move on. It's the same thing. That works in that environment too. And it maintains.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Partially it does. I agree that partially it does, yeah, sure. Because he still listens to Coach James for his coaching, not her. But it's an issue when that person, this is a sports team where a lot of kids continue on to college through sports, right? And athletic scholarships and things. This is now where money and kids' futures are involved. If you don't know what you're doing to help this team succeed, you should not be there because you are now a detriment to my child and their future. That's a problem. That's not a workaround. That's not a this. You know what I mean? I agree with everything you said, but yeah, that's a part of it. But this is the other half where there is an issue.
I'm going to tell you this, okay, to your point, okay? I'm going to say it like this. Every school here, except maybe 2 or 3, they're doing the best they can. And that's how I'm going to leave it at that.
But what did Coach Cagle do that really marinated with you with what your kid? You saw that he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
You saw results and things like that.
Yeah.
Did y'all talk about that during the podcast or anything like that?
We did. I think we talked about that. Yeah, good point. Way to bring us back in. We talked about the state of high school. Kind of onto what I was actually just saying to you on the other part. We were talking about the state of high school bowling, which this was sad too. I know this because I used to work here briefly. But in the back we used to have, and I think they're gone, all the plastic pins and bowling balls and everything. I hope this makes sense because it does in my mind, man. I still remember when I was in elementary school, this was probably in Oregon, but we did that for a little while in PE. I forget if adults came out and did it, or I'm sure that they did, like a representative from bowling alley or something, right?
George.
But we had that here, and I'd asked where all those were from. It was from that same program here, and I guess George is no longer with us.
No.
And then so nobody picked up that program because that was one of the big things we talked
COVID
about.
that really killed that
Was
program.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't come
That's-
back after that.
Yeah, that's terrible to hear because that's what the big thing we talked about with Coach Cagle was how can we get more youth in the area of bowling, the youth league Saturdays, which they do. You know, how can we get more kids in that? And that was the only reason I brought up the stuff in the back because it's like it was disheartening for me. It's like, oh man, they're not doing that anymore in the schools, you know, because it wasn't as great when you were a kid, but I still remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well over 30 years ago.
We went to the bowling alley when I was a kid one time. I loved it. I was like, yeah, we're out of school. Let's go bowling.
Well, no, we did it like in our gymnasium.
And so we did that.
Yeah, no, they did it. It was like, that was the.
Oh, that was like the coup de grace.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be cool. I don't know
So
if we
that's
did that
what
or
they
not.
did. That was part of the program. Like you did it in PE. That
Yeah.
was your day of activity.
Yep.
And then within a week or two, we're going to a bowling alley.
Nice. Yeah, it was so long ago. I honestly don't remember. if we
But
did
that's
that.
what George, really, really meant
Yeah.
at this place.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, we've got a plaque in memory.
Yeah,
of him.
that's awesome.
And I mean, because that's how much of a impact George had on the bowling community here.
Yeah.
I mean, the only guy I know that managed both of these places, both AMF centers here.
It was here when the doors opened.
Yeah, I mean, again, so,
And-
Mark says it starts with the PBA in today's world. He's not
Yeah.
wrong.
No.
Wait, no, I'm sorry, I apologize, I got Dustin on a tangent, that's my bad, thanks Curtis, you're the man for pulling us back in.
Is it your bad?
It is my bad.
No, I think you enjoyed that.
I did.
But no, and his son Cliff, dude, I love Cliff, and he's the team's anchor. You know what I mean? He just is sophomore year now, but I mean the kid's a stud bowler, classic bowler. You know what I mean? So it's like, anyway. But that was a great episode.
Mhm.
Great
It
episode.
was a great episode. And then the next one is when I got my trial by fire. We had our first DGAB champion, Bobby McMillan, on, and that was our shortest episode of all 13.
There was another one funny too. You would kind of on that note where you're like, oh man, I need to figure out what I'm doing here. There was an episode of Calling All Bowlers. I forget his name, but I can remember. He was very cool. I helped you with it. It was one of the early ones, I think.
Socks.
No, not Socks.
Not socks. Paul.
Was it Paul Flatbread?
Oregon.
Dude. No, not
No.
Oregon guy. God, I was just watching him bowl the other night live on TikTok also. Flatbrim hat, like,
Oh, you're talking about, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about,
it turned off. We got dropped because I was on there.
yeah,
Helping.
episode 9 of it. I know who you're talking about. Oh my God, I'm gonna feel so bad. I can't remember his name. I haven't seen him in a while. That's the thing.
It's been a while. Plus,
He
we've
was
already
in
been doing
Florida.
this show an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
yeah, he was in Florida and he was talking about his 200-300 games and stuff with us.
Great dude, chill
Yes,
dude,
yes.
awesome guy.
Yes.
You know, that's what the brand is all about. But my point of bringing that one up is my mom was watching that one and it dropped, or I got dropped from it. And my mom was like, yeah, you fell off the screen, and they just kind of looked at each other like, oh shit, what do we do now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was a great. He's very cool, dude. I did
Oh.
was watching his league the other night.
I think that's when you came back on there and I had just breathed a proverbial sigh of relief. Okay, good, he's
Yeah.
back. And then, but like I said, the trial by fire with Bobby McMillan. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we got our shortest episode was that one. And I think I pretty much, when we finally got a hold of you, I was like, don't ever do that to me again. And then, of course, like I said, what we got next? Oh, yes, and then our episode with Mr. Tate. That, like I said, I spoke about it earlier. Great episode. Told us the story. I think it struck a good chord with you listening to the story. Because I think it put, like, to me, what I noticed about that episode is that, I don't want to say it put pressure on you as a host, but I think it put something on you as a host of help navigate his story.
Yes.
Maybe you can elaborate on that.
For sure. No,
the
you're
ballpark.
absolutely correct. Because I was gonna mention that anyway. So, and we talked about hosting and everything like that. That was a first for me, and to have a guest in that fashion, like with that story. So we all talk about progression. Like, you started the show, you get better. Well, it's like, just because I've been doing this for a while doesn't mean I don't try to get better every time too. We always talk about, and I take info from you guys, this, that, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to get better as well. And so that was, not to say, I don't want to use the word challenge, but it was definitely different because it's like, how do you interview somebody that's terminal? I mean, you know, it's like, holy hell, dude. I don't know how I could explain it, to be honest with you. Yeah, I was very honored to be doing it. I was nervous in a sense. It was just different, man. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. It was very humbling. I tell you what, it was humbling to do that. And yeah.
I mean, and the thing about it is, it's like, again, and y'all know this, everybody else out there knows this, especially like the pain that I went through back in November when we lost him.
Yeah.
That was those feelings of being revisited when I lost my dad. And again, I remember, and I had to tell you, I had just found out about my dad's biopsy results, and with my stepmom, I went over there and she told me he's stage 4 terminal. And I came back and bowled that night. And dude, Curtis read me like a book. He goes, dude, you got some bad news, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. You know, it's the same thing. It's just like, you know, the only thing about it is like, I can say the difference is my dad was very comedic about it, you know, when he finally told me. But Derek, on the other hand, Derek was just, I think it was in a position of your mortality's come into question, and it's coming on, like, you know, Curtis said earlier, you don't expect it to come on that soon. But him, again, loved the episode. We could go all day. I mean, again, like I said, I just want to say like this, I miss my buddy.
It's very surreal.
Very, yeah, thank you, very surreal, that's the word I was looking for. But, our next one.
A local legend.
The GOAT. No, the next one, again, mentor. I told you this when before you did the pre-interview.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, what's so great about this? I said, dude,
Yeah.
this guy's a GOAT. Like, I said it too, didn't I?
Other than,
GOAT.
yeah, oh god, dude. Other than Derek, I think that's probably the only name I heard more was Tony Church. It's like, holy crap, who is this dude, man? So yeah, well, TC 300.
Yes,
That was a fun one.
that was.
And he's just like the epitome of like a retired grandpa. You know what I mean? Living the Gramps life. TC 300 is straight from his license plate.
Yeah,
All
Mark
the
right here.
Mercedes.
Mark says the GOAT.
Yeah. He was enjoyable. My most memorable, that whole episode was great with him. It was so fun getting to meet him and like, this is TC, this is Tony Churchy, right? And it was fun. I think we're in the pro shop doing the pre-deal thing, and I was able to surprise him completely. I don't know if you remember what I'm talking about, but he was asking me what I do. Like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I'm retired. how'd you do that?
Yeah.
And I was like, did the military for 20 years. And it was like to genuinely surprise him. Because you can tell he's like one of those dudes. I don't get surprised much because I don't care. You know what I mean? But I mean, to have his life experience and everything he's been through,
Seen it all.
yes, seen it all, been through it all, and not gonna surprise me with anything. For to even, I don't care what it's about, but I was able to surprise him with the fact that I was retired. I was like, I'll tell you that.
Well, man, that's another thing.
Gotcha.
That's another thing about it. I told you, like, I said, we're really gonna like this episode. I was like, that time the man was 68 years old, and I said, dude, he's 68 years old, and he's still averaging 230. And to be honest with you now, it's a year later. The man's averaging, he's 69 years old, he's still averaging 230 on Wednesday nights. And I think another thing I loved about the episode was the fact that I got to bring him on and I got to look at you and go, hey, guess what? After 20 years, I finally out-averaged Tony.
Finally.
After 20 years,
Yes.
I out-averaged Tony Churchy in the league. And it was in the same league, which made it all the better. Like, I'm telling you, like, dude, like, you talk about, like, bucket list. That was one of my bucket lists. And I say that in the fact of is like, look, this guy is a member of the Huntsville USBC Hall of Fame. He's a member of the Alabama State USBC Hall of Fame. And not only that, he is a member of the Huntsville-Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame. And I don't know if you asked him during an episode or not, 'cause it's been so long ago, but I think if you ask Tony what his greatest achievement is, yes, city and state Hall of Fames are fantastic, but to me, he was very proud of that Huntsville-Madison County Athletic. Like, we're talking like people from football, baseball, soccer, hockey, and not only that, my boss Jeff just got inducted into it this year too.
Oh, okay.
So we got another thing going good with that. So I mean, but it's just like I said, I knew what I was doing with that.
Oh.
I wanted to bring Tony on because and I think you gained a little bit more of a wealth of more general knowledge about bowling than what I could have told you.
Dude, yeah. He's forgotten more about bowling than I'll ever know.
Dude, so I love that episode.
Plus, he drives a Mercedes with a TC300 license plate.
Mhm.
That was what gave me the buy-in. I was like, hey, what's up, brother? No, that was a great time.
Yeah. Who's next on the list? Or you want me to keep going?
Yeah, you guys got it.
So our next episode, that was our first virtual episode because you were in Pennsylvania,
So it must have been during the summertime.
sweating your tail off in the suit because he's that dedicated.
I took the suit in.
Yeah, and it was. I remember that day he goes, "It is humid up here." I was like, "Well, let's try to get this done quick," because Chase was our guest. He was in here. I was at home. You were in PA. I was like, I could have been in here with him, but I wanted to make it a true virtual session because it was like. That's another one of the first time things we explored. Like, what's it going to be like? And you were working, so. But Chase had just won. I think
Second.
I think he just won the second DGAB
Yep.
Invitational, and that was the belt because he brought the belt in,
Yeah.
which I thought that was a big deal.
Oh, for sure.
So, but I mean, like I said, and it was again close match. We were
Him and
calling
Jaeger.
it. Him and Jaeger, close match. Come down to the 10th, and just again, cool moment.
Mhm.
Cool moment to be able to bring both champions on.
It was fun watching them both out there compete like that too.
Yeah.
It's like either one of these guys could take it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Then going to our next episode, Miss Melanie Christine.
Mm-hmm.
What stood out about her is she did a lot of like health regimen, gym regimen videos, and it equated to her bowling. And I figured that there's more people now so than ever that's like tying in like, hey, what have I got to do to maintain bowling on a physical level? Because you guys know arthritis, it sucks. But just being, her knowledge of health and food and nutrition, that's what really I was like, this might be a good way to incorporate some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of stuff that stood out with me with Melanie in our podcast.
Yeah.
And we did that virtual as well.
Yep.
Because I think that episode was you were still out of town.
I think so.
You were either out of town or under the weather. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
But we were like, we're going to do it. So that was a pretty cool deal. The next episode was just recently inducted into the Huntsville USBC Hall of Fame. Mr. Wes McElroy.
Why don't you?
Yep, episode 10,
Oh yeah,
episode
yeah.
X.
Episode X.
Because he was very gung-ho about it's X!
It's
X!
Well, I think you mentioned it first. And I was like,
I
yes.
did, but you ran with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you sounded like Vince McMahon.
X. We need attitude.
Yeah. X. That's good shit.
Man, Vince could be a fun one to do. I've never really done him. The Mr. McMahon would be a fun character. Tell us, no, that's a great request. Why don't you tell us when his whole thing started? Because the story behind it is great.
Oh, God.
So originally he was supposed to be our 3rd episode guest. And you can obviously see he made it to episode 10. So we X, excuse me. But we got delayed a lot. We kept having to push him back.
Built up the suspense.
Yeah, even Maya went X.
Now, what was supposed to be the big surprise? With
So
this?
here's the deal. Bobby and I got together, and they were doing the Hall of Fame ballots. And I immediately was like, look, for the amount of years that Wes has put into Huntsville USBC, it would be really cool to see a 3rd generation member of the Hall of Fame, because his grandfather, Aaron King, also known as Big A, shout out to Big A, God rest your soul, sir. He was the forefront of Monarch Lanes, and then Wes and his family took over Monarch after his passing, and they ran it for about 7 years, up until 2004, 2005. And Trina was also a member of, at the time, the WIBC Hall of Fame locally. So when they combined them all together, it was like the Men's Hall of Fame, Women's Hall of Fame, the Huntsville USBC. So again, you had Big A as 1st generation, his mom as 2nd generation, and I was just like, you have to be 40. 40 is a requirement, and they were doing it. And I went to Lee Burkfield and I said, hey, we're going to submit our application for Wes to go to the Hall of Fame. I originally submitted him to be for Superior Bowling, because I know Wes has not rolled in a league in about 8 years, but I bowled with Wes when I was 11, 12, and so on and so forth. And although he won't say it, Wes was a damn good bowler, and I use that pun well intended.
Yeah.
I mean, Wes had a unique style. You knew when Wes was on the lanes, like he has a style. Like
I've never
cannot
seen
be.
you bowl.
Well,
I've never seen you bowl until this league.
But it cannot be mimicked. Like everybody knows, oh, Wes is out on the lanes. That's how it was when we were kids. And the fact that he was like, hey, Mike, do you want to bowl with me? I was like one of those ones looking at it. It was like the same time when Tony and Richard asked me to bowl with them. It was like that big of a deal for me to be on his team.
Yeah.
And that's where our friendship really blossomed from that moment on. But we put in the application, come to find out that they weren't going to take him in under the superior bowling category. And I told Lee Burkfield, I said, well, you're full of, you know what, we need to make this happen. He goes, no. He goes, he's going in. And I said, well, how'd y'all do that? He goes, we're going to put it under meritorious service. So for the stuff that he has done, for the game, what he's going to continue doing for the game. You know where I'm going with this speech about the NFL. And I got to thinking, I said, we're going to put him on the show. And what I want to do, and you know how they announce when the NFL players get to the Hall of Fame, they got the big president guy in his red jacket or blue jacket, and he knocks on the door.
Up. Yeah.
And unexpectedly, it just hits him out of nowhere, right? And I was like, I want to pull that off of Wes. I want to get him in on this episode, and I want Lee to be the one to go. And Dustin and I would have sold it like crazy.
Yeah.
It would have been a great thing.
That was it, yeah.
Mr. Rogers, I wonder who that could be.
Yeah, me, like I could have just looked at Dustin. I was originally going to Dustin and go, who the hell is that? I don't know, coach. Okay, well, let's go see. And we're going to have Lee come in, and we're going to have him do the speech and basically say, hey, congratulations, you were in the Huntsville USBC Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I thought that would have been great. Y'all were for it because at the time in our infancy of the podcast, I remember you specifically going, oh, this would be great.
Yeah.
This would be great TV. He even said like that point, he was like, this would be great. Great content or whatever you said. But that didn't happen. Come to find out, somebody had told him, hey man, congratulations, heard you made it in the Hall of Fame, and he had no clue, and I was like, and what happened, I found that out is when Wes came into the shop that day, and he goes, hey man, did you hear? I said, what? He goes, girl put me in the Hall of Fame. And I just went, oh. I was like, congratulations, but damn it. Because we had that plan, and I think it would have been so cool.
It would have been great.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was very angry.
I was not mad, but he was more mad
I
than
was
all of us
so
collectively.
mad.
But again, I filmed his induction, and that's one of the things he said in his speech. He said, I think it's a cool deal. I'm 3rd generation. So there's Aaron King, Trina McElroy, and Wes McElroy under the same family tree. All 3 Hall of Famers, more than deserved.
I gotta see Wes Bowl now.
Good luck.
Good luck with that.
I know, but now
He's got
because I have
hip and neck problems. Yeah, you probably won't be able to see it. I wish I could have had something on recording.
because now like I'm just picturing all the weirdest bowling throws I've seen. I can't even.
Well,
picture
again,
it.
it's one of a kind. That's all I'll say. But that was our original thing for that.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
He was one of those, but I saw when he would bowl, he was one that would lay it on the lane, no sound of it hitting or anything, just directly.
Mhm.
I don't understand that.
I don't either. Prather does that now. I don't know how he does it.
Practice, man.
Yeah.
Kyle's the same way. Kyle's smooth on the way.
Yeah.
Even Curtis is like, I don't hear Kyle's.
I hate it though because I see the ball go and I'm waiting for the thud
Yep.
and hitting it, and it never comes. And
Yep.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and then that brings us to our last episode before this one, Jonathan Bertram.
Yeah.
So one of the things that really stood out to me is I told you, I said, this is going to be the most different perspective from a guest we've ever had. I think I remember telling you that specifically. And at first it was like, it was a little feeling of unsure, but then like we got to talking and
Well, yeah. What that was I didn't know truly what he was there for, and you had already told him what you wanted from him, and I had no idea yet. That was where him and I's miscommunication come from.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't informed what he was really there to talk about.
oh no, but either way, like what happened was like it ended up like
It's a great show.
it came down to it. That was a really good episode. The thing about it is it's like it's the perspective, and I was like, out of all the guests we had on the show, his perspective was going to be bar none the most different, but it was going to be like the most realist.
Mhm.
And I think that's personally lacking in anything that you see, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a show. It's just that unfiltered realness that a lot of people.
Authenticity.
Yeah, thank
Because
you.
he's out there doing what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's another idea that we're getting ready to try swing. I know you're going to talk about this here. Your PBA idea.
The PBA, yeah. But with JB though, you're right, he had such a great perspective because he's out there doing the tournaments and everything. He knows a lot of these guys. The PBA season starting back up on the 25th, is that right?
Yes.
But
January 25th.
this
Yes, sir.
month, yeah, so if you watch any of those, you see a lot of the guys, they're on tour basically, they go and bowl all week to bowl on TV when you see it. But he's out there doing those and bowling with these guys. So his insight, like you said, you nailed it perfectly. The insight that he brought to us and the perspective was awesome because we can ask questions of a dude that's actually out there doing it. And he gave us perspective on some people that you see bowl on TV. He's like, yeah, I know them. Called me over for dinner. Like some of the stories he had was awesome. I forget who the guy, AJ, I think.
His buddy AJ.
Yeah, the bowler.
Mm-hmm.
What's his last name?
Landis.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. No.
Oh,
the
AJ Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so glad I asked Buttram what he thought about him before I shared my opinion. But getting insight, because I only knew of what I see on TV,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
I judged him from that.
Mm-hmm.
But then getting JB's perspective, I was like, okay, I'm glad to hear that because he humanized him. He's like, dude, he's a great guy.
Mhm.
Called us over, had dinner with us, they chatted.
Mhm.
So getting insight into that was really cool, man. And I had this idea that you segued into, is I don't think we're gonna get to have him a whole lot, just honestly,
Yeah.
but maybe a few of them during the season. Is I thought that would be great to bring JB back for the PBA event, and we could do some type of deal where we're watching the match. You know what I mean? What I pictured was myself, coach, and JB, to where, and of course you're gonna be filming for me,
Yes.
sure we get all that stuff. But no, getting current insights on these guys. A lot of stuff. You're the genius in bowling here, Curtis. You am a better bowler than me, but you're the depth of knowledge, right?
Yes.
And so to have another guy kind of like that, to where it's like they know the bowling and they know they're out there on the patterns, they know how the stuff's going, is so cool to get. So my idea was to get that real time from them with just me, the mouthpiece in the middle, to ask different questions of the actual PBA events that we're watching, if that all makes sense. We're working on something like that. I think right now it's
What
gonna
do
be.
you think about it, everybody?
Yeah, what do y'all think? Let us know. That's one of those I think we're gonna try for sure, at
Yeah.
least. A lot of legs there. Again, it's just, can we make this stuff happen?
See, another thing that's happening too, aren't you going to Missouri for the Pete Weber Missouri Classic?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
I wanted to go last year, but I couldn't make it, but that's in February. Yep.
I think at some point or another, we're gonna do a live and we're gonna be doing that, and you basically, I don't think they'll let you film the action on the lanes, but
Yeah.
you can film yourself going, dude, you're not gonna believe what happened here, or whatever, stuff like
Yes.
that. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
But no, like, I'm with you, like, letting everybody know, if you guys wanna see something like that from our perspective, please let us know. And, I mean, dude, like I said, y'all, like, we named a buku of guests, y'all, we did.
Yeah.
We're episode 13, rocking and rolling. And again, I cannot state this enough. I cannot say thank you enough to everybody. I cannot say thank you enough to you guys. We've got a lot of things happening for this year. We got a lot of things we want to happen. We want to do our best to make it happen. But I think one of the things about it is a lot of people don't understand is this is work. This is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I guess we go into what now? The standout moments?
Yeah.
I know we've been
memorable
talking a
moments.
few moments and
Mhm.
everything, but we got our list here, and
I've already, I think,
I want to segue this
Build a
into
couple
you
of
guys
lines.
because this is very important to me. Okay, not that I didn't know that you guys were all in anyway, but if
He's
anybody,
stealing yours.
I know you just spilled it down mine.
no, but like no, I didn't like again. Like my thing is this: I'm gonna segue. This is all y'all, okay? But I have to say this because I've said it times before. Again, you don't know how loyal of people you have in your life until both of those guys want to go have your logo tattooed on them. Tattooed on them.
Hey, Ricky Bobby.
So, y'all, this is. I'm just here to listen.
It stem. All I'll say, it did stem from my idea. It was like 1:30 in the morning. I was drunk and cooking, and I like to meal prep while I drink. And for some reason, I figured that out in 2024. But about 1:30, I'm doing that, and I'm like, hey, we should get DGAB practice. So I sent in the group message, who's down for a DGAB tap? Send it over to you.
F yeah.
He said F no, he said F yeah. That's where the idea was born. Curtis, this
I,
was
I thought it was awesome. Well, first of all, I love tattoos, and I just wanted an excuse to get a tattoo.
agreed.
Oh, by the way, not getting off subject here, but Maya says those wrestling belts with the emoji.
Who would have thought? I can't believe it.
did
Red
it.
snake skin
We did it.
works.
We did it.
Yeah, nobody cares if you won. We're looking at the belts.
Anyway, I just want to throw that on here. Go ahead.
That,
But
that was a really fun experience. Abigail's
Oh.
great.
She's awesome.
okay,
So good.
Patrick wanted me to ask you guys, how much did it cost for the tats?
Wasn't that bad.
But you got more. Mine was like 150.
Mine was a lot more work.
Yeah,
and
a lot
colors.
more work.
Yours, you can see yours right there. You can whip yours out, big boy.
How much? Why do you have so much emphasis on the
I
H?
don't know. I can't stop. I've been seeing the.
Yeah, that's YouTube. Go ahead and go up close there and show
Mine's
them.
over here. It would take way too much to.
I can still see it though.
Can you?
Yeah.
You've all seen it. You guys know what
Yeah.
it looks
There
like.
was a
I've
highlight
seen
video-
it.
There was a highlight video of it.
But no, Abby was great. I initially reached out to a tattoo parlor. I don't remember the name, but they never got back to me. And then you suggested, I think you knew her, yeah. So we hit up Abby. You did some of the legwork on that, but she got back to us right away. We went and did the meet and greet.
Mhm.
Kind of said what we wanted to do because yeah, we're getting tattoos. But we also want this to be content because it's more the brand. They were all about it. Very cool shop. Once we eventually found it, 1, 2, 3 times pulling the Parkway. But it was great. Great experience. Great time.
Yes. She showed me when I told her what I wanted. It was just verbal. I said, I want this, this, and this.
Mhm.
I went to. She goes, that is like literally what I was describing. That right there.
Yeah.
So I mean, the
Again,
communication was great. She was, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The communication was great, and what I loved and appreciated about her from a tattoo artist is the fact how many times she went and checked with her boss. Like we'd get the stencil put on my arm, and they'd be, okay, let's go get the okay first.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to what they're saying, but it's like I'm not a tattoo artist, but I'm keeping up with some of them. They're like, yeah, we'll put it here, da 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 da. Why they're moving it, this and that. And she'd apologize a couple times, but it's like, hey, it's gonna be permanent. This is what I'm doing
Yes.
today. You know what I mean? Like, thank you for making sure that you're getting your stuff right before you permanently
She
get
did
in.
the same thing with me, and I said, yes, I would rather, since I overthink, I said, I would rather you overthink something
Yeah.
than permanently put on my body.
Exactly.
Her and the
Thank
boss.
you.
That's what I appreciate. They both cared.
Listen to your tattoo artist. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Patrick is asking Curtis. This is Curtis. What was your being straight black ink? I don't.
Black on black crime.
He says, I'm sorry if that sounded so bad.
You were the least black person I've ever met, though.
It's
One
true.
of.
Well, no, I wanted it because, I mean, I don't know if you see, but I have a tattoo right here and I have here, and it just fit with
It does.
everything else. I like just bold black tattoos. They're
Cost is what he's asking. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I
you
got
know-
made a speech for no reason.
No, you did. No, totally. Cool.
I was expecting a speech too. I was tracking with you off of what he
I
said.
apologize. That's
We're
my
still teaching Michael the communication skills.
Water, Helen, water.
Oh man, we're getting after dark territory. Sorry.
I'm glad I don't know what that means, so there you go. Okay, we're good. We're good, go ahead.
You couldn't see it. Hey! We're still on the Helen Keller stuff.
I got
Moving
it,
forward.
I got it.
I think mine though. I think the tattoo was $350 maybe. Do you remember how much yours was?
Did like 150.
Okay, so
It was like 75 down and then 75 and it was done.
How long did it take on yours? How long did it take on yours?
Mine took maybe an hour.
Took a few hours.
Was it
Took a
like
while.
5 hours? Because I didn't think we got pictures from you until like 7:30.
It may have been 5 hours there, but it was probably like 3 to 4 under the needle time.
Okay. And Patrick says that's not bad at all.
But
No.
it was really fun, and
I'm asking, so if I make it in May, I'll get one.
Heck yeah.
Patrick! Dang, dude. Okay. All right.
Oh yeah.
join the club.
Yeah, that's right.
Again, Patrick says 7 hours is brutal for needle time.
My chest was 10 hours. This was 10 hours. This was miserable. So was the chest. So
Yeah.
I've done pieces that were like 10 hours at a time, and it sucks. So she was so light-handed to get tattoo artists. The big thing with tattoos
Mhm.
that will prep you for when you get yours.
I'm not.
I know it's a joke, but she was so light-handed, man. It never hurt, and like I never grit my teeth. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times there's certain spots where you're like, yo, no, I'm good, just can get it done. You know what I mean? On certain
I
parts.
think the thing that stood out too, Curtis, was like, the outline was okay. It was when the coloring in started to.
No,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
even the colored in that was. It was when she finished and she had to fill in like a little crate. She said she got a really small needle. That thing hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was so angry at me, but I mean,
This one, I can honestly say this, I never had any issues with that. Ooh, battery's running low, but that's okay.
Patrick says, I have 8 of them. He says, yeah, my left bicep and shoulder wrap was 7 with cover.
Yeah.
And Miss Maya says, I have $10 tattoos.
So the small, that's all right though.
Well, but again, it's just one of those things, like, again, I mean, y'all knew how I reacted when y'all brought that in. Like, y'all were like, yeah, let's do this. And I was like, it really just put stuff into perspective for me. It was like, like, holy mother of God, they're gonna put my logo on their body, like, permanently. And again, it's just, and maybe I'm just that way about stuff, just thinking about stuff from a perspective of just, again, appreciativeness and thankfulness, and just, if anything, the biggest trait of all is loyalty.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, like, if you don't believe in something, having somebody put your logo on them permanently, that's really gonna really motivate you to be like, okay, I believe in this. So
Yeah.
there we go. I just wanted to say that. Yeah, Brian said it best. The gesture is huge, man. I get it, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me with that.
well, Michael stole my moment, so I'm gonna use the second one.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And a lot of these y'all didn't get to see, but he put some of the bloopers, man. I love watching the bloopers. I love experiencing the bloopers.
Yeah.
Because some of those are just hilarious, and I probably laughed harder at some of y'all's mess ups than I had at anything else all last year. Like stitching in the stomach, like almost falling over, laughing at some of that stuff.
Well, I think what really added a nice touch to it is how I could edit the videos to go expletive.
Do you like the bloopers from the podcast or from calling them
All of them.
Customer states?
Well, no, the educational series, because y'all are trying to be so serious because it's educational, and those those are hilarious.
Y'all weren't here for this, but I was trying to do the effect tour video on my own, and I posted about 3 or 4 bloopers from that, and I gave up after the 4th one. So I'm done with this.
That's what I was gonna say. There's a few we've done where we call them the one take Tonys. We did a few of them in like one take or very minimal take.
Those were the ones Curtis went a
Yeah,
part of.
apparently
Right.
I'm coming up to work.
But Brian said, he just pinned this comment. He says, he laughed. Wait, say that again, Curtis. because you laughed.
Oh yeah. It's one of those though, it becomes counterproductive as you do because the more, oh gosh, especially when I'll be screwing up the intro, if I screwed up more 3, 4, 5 times now, it's just like I almost dropped another F-bomb. But it's like,
Expletive.
yes. Because it just gets worse the more times you screw it up. But yeah, a lot of fun. So much fun messing up. Glad to amuse you.
It's very much
My screw ups.
Like the one take where he did where I was just sitting there and he's like, yes, the pillar of knowledge, the CEO, welcome to episode 5. And I was just like, what?
No.
It's segment, not episode.
Yeah, there's been a few where you won't interrupt me and I just keep going. Like jibber jabber. And I'm like, oh yeah, we could have cut 5 minutes ago. Why did you stop me?
My favorite one never even made it because you deleted it. You were doing educational and you were doing the intro and your voice just started going up. And it was going higher and higher. And I remember you behind the goes, what the hell is happening right now?
Was I doing it on purpose?
No.
Because I'm already off the rails?
No, you said you ran out of breath and you just kept going,
Yes.
you didn't breathe, it just
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on
Yeah,
right
no,
now?
yeah,
That was
because you lose
hilarious.
space and trouble and everything with the lack of oxygen.
That was hilarious.
Well, Patrick said also sorry to say, but you have to change it a little for me as I don't get the same tattoo. He
Oh,
didn't
sure.
He didn't get the same tattoo. His was actually like, dude, when I saw your tattoo, the first thing I thought, license and registration now, because he had the aviator
Oh,
glasses.
dude,
I was
it's
like,
pretty
"It was
sick.
great."
Yeah.
It was great.
And you get the DGAB tattoo you want.
Yes.
That's what we did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
I told them to
so.
make it their own.
Yeah, for sure.
And they did. Sorry, just
Nope. True
let
story.
everybody-
I think the most fun for me is probably the customer states, man. When I get to put that, it's fun because it's like work, but I see something in my head, and I remember you just a couple times. You were like, "That was so good," like. But to me, I'm just doing what I do and having the ability to do that. It's like this is what I picture in my head, and you guys just go with it. You know what I mean? You just, all right, let's find out, let's see, and then it comes together, and everybody's like, "Yeah, yeah, there it is."
Because the first couple we just did ourselves, and the first one we did with you, you were doing. I was like, oh wow, this dude's a natural. He's like, we give a concept, and then you're like, I got you, and then you take it that step further. And
I don't think anything beat the customer states than when you bought him the hat
with the
with
yes.
the little win on it.
He had to
and
teach me how to hold a child's hand because I had never held a child's hand before.
But we did it on the fly, and you're like, "Okay, show me."
Like this is how you do it. You lead them like oh okay, that makes sense.
Because that was one of my favorites too. That was one of them where I tear the cookie up and
Oh,
each other, and
yes.
the kid destroys it, and you're the parent. You gotta walk the kid out of the store. Yeah, but again, that's kind of what I mean. It's like, hey, if you didn't be like, no, you weirdo, blah blah. It's just like, no, I haven't. Okay, well here's how you do it. Oh, it makes sense, and we're moving on. You know what I mean? Like very enjoyable, very
My
fun.
contribution was we said we would do it with the kid. I said I want him to have a hat with a propeller on.
Yes.
That's all I wanted for that.
Was that your idea or mine? I
That
thought
was
it my
mine.
idea.
Yeah,
I
that was
was
his
so
idea.
you said it. I was like, yes.
It's like where can we get one? I'm buying
Oh,
it right
I
now.
love it. We still have it. That's gonna.
Yeah,
that'll
it's
be
in
the-
my trunk.
That'll be the
Still have
DGAB
it.
museum one day.
Yeah, I think my favorite customer states is when I went through. Let's see, we did the. I'm eating in the shop. And then I go sit at the table.
Yeah.
I'm trying to eat again.
Yeah.
And I go back in the corner where the game is. I'm trying to hide to eat.
Mhm.
And then I go to the freezer. And I came up with the freezer at the end. I said, let's just go to the freezer right here. And then he caught it, and I just threw the food in the trash. I'm like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. This is an unmitigated disaster.
That was great.
I like that one. It just hits too close to home.
That's the point.
It's traumatized.
That's the point. I feel like the next one I really want to do for customer states is I want to do the one where I am literally almost in my car and one don't stop me. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do it with an empty parking lot or whatever. And I'm just going to give you the look, and I'm going to get in my car and I'm just going to speed off.
So you guys just had a little insight into our process of how we come up with that.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm just saying, let's see here.
You see the I can say the word intricacies.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
it. We just say an idea, we throw it up against the wall, like that's funny, shoot it.
I mean,
But it's almost like one of the problems is everything we throw sticks. So we can never cross anything off the list of
No.
stuff to do more. You know what I mean? Terrible problems.
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think one of the things I want to put out here, so here's the thing too. So I just, again, no shout out to you from me. Guys, for those of gals out there, for those of y'all that have a DGAB jersey, thank these guys right here, because, and I actually have to even give some props to Mr. Paul, because remember, he was one of the first ones that kept telling you, hey man, this guy wants a jersey. And we kept going, okay, we're not there yet, or, you know, something was just causing us to put it back, but y'all are the reason we have the DGAB jerseys. So I just want to say thank you for that. It means the world to me.
So most specifically, you're the reason we have DGAB jerseys.
Well, but again, the idea was like, this is something we need to do,
Yep.
and again, I'm just saying.
That was one of our first kind of evolutions, if
Yeah.
you will. Was kind of like, okay, we're all still doing this stuff, so if we're gonna keep doing this, then we need the merch.
Yeah.
So
Like, and I don't know if you guys can see right here in the back, but I made a little nice, I got my jersey hung up, and I also got the new average bowler hats too, so we got, you know,
I love how they came out. I couldn't have asked for a better turnout.
Yeah,
no,
that right
it's
there.
Good.
yeah, no, I'm telling you,
Those are
Donnie knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, we're almost. Yeah,
We've either had no complaints or you guys are lying to us because everybody seems to love them.
yeah.
No, that's the thing I've heard is just like they're especially during the hotter months, everybody was like, oh, this helps keep us cool. So I was like, yeah.
And we're almost through 50 because that's when we decided, again, for some more insight into us. We discussed next jerseys, this and that. I think we'd agreed that like, hey, 50 sounds pretty good. We'll get through 50 of the DGAB 1.0 jerseys, and then we will start looking at the second one. So it's time to start looking at the second
Let's make my shoulders look broader than they are.
one. Broad AF, homie. You're not wearing your hat backwards though. Have you done your hat backwards at all this
Yeah,
episode?
No.
Why don't you show them fools what it says on the?
Look at that.
Is it mirrored?
I'm one of the fools.
Actually, I'm just gonna take it off and just put it right there.
Okay, now you gotta go up there and do it.
Just gonna leave that right there.
It says league. So yeah, because we are the league champions.
We are the champions, my friend.
We're not sorry about it.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Sorry, not
Because let me
sorry.
tell you, you weren't here for this, but oh no, there was some hate being thrown.
Oh yes,
there was some
was.
hate
Oh, I
being
bet.
thrown.
I
But let me tell you what I also did. I came up with this idea too. As long as the resources are available. So here's what I did. I had all the chairs out, right, like normally, you know, and you'd be amazed how many people, you know this, how many people would just be like standing up across the wall. They don't want to sit down. And what did I do, Chris? I said, oh, you might want to sit down.
Did you not
for
tell
this.
them about this?
Again, there's probably a lot of things I probably haven't, but again, this is a good talking piece anyway. But what we did is, I had 6 bowling balls given to us, like already drilled, you know, they're used. So we wrote down the bowling ball, and we said, congratulations, you've won this used ball. And we put it under, we taped it under the chairs.
Randomized seats.
We minimized the seats. And there's like 10 people here, and we had a couple of seats. I said, guys, y'all might want to sit down. And you know why I said that? Because there was one of them that hadn't been sat in.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, and I was like, y'all might want to sit down. This is very to your benefit. And then all of a sudden I was like, guess what, guys? Reach under your chairs and see if you've got a piece of paper there. And everybody was like, whoa! And I was like, and I had
They
to,
did when they pulled it.
yeah, whoa! Yeah, that. Whoa!
That was pretty good. I don't think I can make those noises.
And Mark says, Curtis repping the jersey and hat looking like an LSU fan.
Oh.
I don't follow sports, so I don't know what that means.
SEC in general didn't do very well. So.
Ooh, well, you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I know you're happy, so that's all that matters.
Not disappointed.
Yeah, yeah, but
Pretty
anyway,
funny.
I don't care. I'll just say you like this. I don't give two. You know
Yeah.
what? Who wins the national title? So, but anywho, but no, we did that, and so I just made it a thing where like if we have something we're just trying to get rid of, we're gonna do it. So
Jumping off
So
on the
if
bullets.
there's always, my point to that is it pays to sit down, because you never know, you could win a free used ball.
Be sitting on a pee after this just for 10
Key word, free, because I've always been told everybody likes the word free.
It's true.
So
True
anyway,
that.
I figured that would be pretty cool.
We're getting to the point. We'll go ahead and announce the last call, I think.
Yes.
So my computer's dead, but we didn't have anything.
Mark says, sorry, had to poke at the Bama guys. Don't worry, I was poking at ourselves way early in the season, so it is what it is.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. So, but no, we got hats, we got jerseys, shot glasses. That's another thing. The shot glasses was Dustin's idea. And they came out a lot better than we were anticipating. I know there for a while we were like, and then they came out like that. I was like, dude.
Those were in the works for a long time, yeah.
That's
And then-
freaking amazing.
Yeah, they came out really good.
You know what was really fun about the shot glasses? Getting to sign one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick, dude, let me tell you, Patrick, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we signed one for him. Well, we sent him one, he goes, you guys didn't sign it. So he bought another one, we signed it. He put it in his frame with a name of a bowling ball. Again, Patrick, help me out here. He framed a bowling ball, I think it was like something for his dad, a little tribute thing to his dad, and he put our shot glass in with
I
it.
did not know that.
I didn't either.
Well, now you know.
That's really
Wow.
So again,
That is an honor, man.
yes,
that's
big honor there, Patrick, and we appreciate you and your support, man. And everybody out there, like right now on the TikTok live, we're at 11,700 likes for this.
Yeah.
And again, we've been going about, well, we're over 2 hours on this
Yeah.
one, but there's a lot of stuff we had to
It
go
was,
over,
and we've been
man.
trying to do this one for a while. This was
Yeah.
another one of those that we're all very excited for that we didn't, not to say half-ass, that's not the right term, but some of them we had to call it in and do, via however. But this one it was very important to us all to be together for this one.
Kyle says I need one for each day of the week. Hey, we'll sell you 7
Are we
more
talking
of them.
shot
Is
glasses?
it a
Yeah.
shot or a shot
Hey.
glass?
Yeah, we'll sell you
Oh.
7 more, buddy. Let's see here. Okay. So Patrick said, I want to make sure I said this right because it's important to me that it says Ace Bowling Ball tribute for my dad. AA, that was his call sign for the Navy.
Hmm.
So we are extremely honored to autograph a shot glass
Very
and
much.
have that up in your tribute to your dad. That's just the coolest thing. in the
Especially as
world.
in the Navy, that's awesome, I didn't know that.
Yes, so, that's another thing too. I have to give, again, big shout out. Patrick's doing awesome work. He is running his organization to where he is helping veterans in need of like new bowling equipment. Very big, awesome stuff. Again, Patrick, you're awesome for doing what you're doing. And, again, like, my papa, he was Navy, very important to me. Dustin, I know numerous veterans, Dustin included with that. Thank you. I will never stop saying thank you for that. I appreciate your service, my friend. Again, military, you guys got the biggest balls of them all, and I will say that with like respect, meaning all the way, because I can't do it. I'm telling you, it takes somebody with guts and fortitude and bravery and just self-sacrifice. And again, that's,
Appreciate it, man.
I mean, thank you. Thank you for doing something that I don't have the guts to do. I'm just being real with you.
Yeah, absolutely, I appreciate it. man.
And so, but yeah. So getting out here, it says, and your likes dropped off, but I'll talk to you about that later, no problem. Let's see here, what else we got here? And he said, Patrick said his dad was a pilot.
Nice.
Let's see here. Patrick says, thank you for the shout out, Mike and guys, it means the world to me. You are welcome,
It means
sir.
the world to us, man.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it here. I mean, it's okay. I mean, again, like, I think another thing that's kind of taught me here with the whole thing with TikTok, because again, I think that's been our biggest platform to explode, and I mean that in a good way, of course. But even YouTube, like we finally reached 500 subscribers with YouTube, so that's a big deal to me. So again, 504. So here's the next thing, guys and gals. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're rocking and rolling, boys.
Yeah. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. I hope we get to do this a lot more. What do you guys think of the setup? We really want
Yes.
your feedback on that.
Good point.
Listen, I'm only doing this because of what you taught me, man. I'm sorry.
You're doing
I
good.
apologize.
You are doing great.
So I just take it away.
No.
No. You are the man.
That's really about it, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this. It does not feel like it's been over 2 hours. I need to pee again, but that's the only indicator of that. I mean, I'm being serious. We could continue this for a while, but I mean, I think we've gotten to talk about everything that we planned to. No major interruptions. He's checking the actual YouTube phone now, but I know you got YouTube in front of you.
Two likes and 5 people watching.
We do apologize for how long it took to finally get episode 13, the 1-year anniversary done.
Lucky 13.
It is
They couldn't have
lucky
lined up
13.
any better.
X3, baby.
X3. Sound like you're doing like the Cobras from Dodgeball.
Dude, oh man, that didn't work for him yesterday.
Yeah.
You see him after Texas was doing that after
Nah.
that didn't work too well for
Didn't
him.
work.
But no, for real. I know that we were kind of getting agitated how long it took us to get. I know you were really wanting to do the episode. We all were. We finally got to do it. I'm very happy with how it came out. Again, as Mike said, what do you guys think of this setup? And let us know what you guys think. What you like, what you don't like, what you like to see, all of those types of things. Because again, we are going to take them in. Doesn't mean we'll apply them, but we're definitely but we're definitely going to read it and talk about it. You know what I mean? So
Michael Spence says, keep up the great work, guys. Mark says, that room is awesome. Patrick says, I've had to charge my phone twice.
yeah.
Brian says, great episode. You guys are a great core and you guys are crushing it. Patrick says, it was worth the wait.
It was. You guys did a great job setting this up.
Any closing? Anything closing? How we want to really...
About all I can think of to say is thank you.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, it took us so long to get this up because we wanted to make sure that it was right for you guys.
Yeah.
And
We've always stressed quality over quantity.
and you guys decided to tune in with us forever how long. That's the biggest thank you. I mean,
Yeah.
y'all showing up for us. I mean, it's shown me something I didn't think was possible. We were doing this when it first started. Not that I didn't take it seriously, but it was a gag thing, just something we did. And then you guys showed me that this is something serious. You guys care, and that made me care. So I thank you guys for that.
And again, the only thing I can really say to everybody is like, again, I know what we said earlier. We are acting like status quo about TikTok,
Yeah.
but I really want to say this. I have met so many awesome people through the app,
Mhm.
and y'all have become my biggest supporters, along with these guys, along with everybody. They're, to me, a supporter is a supporter no matter what way. Whether you bought a jersey, whether you bought a hat, whether you showed up for the lives every time we got on live. Dude, it has been such a wonderful feeling. And again, I just, like you said, thank you. It's an extreme honor. And I am really excited to see what kind of stuff we are, what we are looking forward to. And Mark, I love Mark. I'm so glad Mark come into the live chat with me one night at the house. He says, Mike, finish the show with a joke to Curtis.
Hey. That's why, Curtis. That's why it's great, because you're the only one with that look. We're all like, hey.
So, hey,
We're having
Curtis.
such a good
Oh.
time.
Hey, Curtis.
What?
How do you plan a space party?
You plan it.
You got it. Good job, buddy.
You kind of gave it away.
I don't
Did you
care.
word that wrong or something?
No, I just went with what was on my mind.
That's what you guys wanted.
Yes.
Are you entertained?
Woo!
Yes, we are.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Patrick goes, yeah. And Patrick says LMAO.
I think that's a good way to take the show out.
I mean, again, guys, you will see this feature on TikTok and YouTube Shorts every Saturday. There will be a joke every Saturday with Curtis. And again, dude, it's all out of love, man.
It is.
Like, I appreciate you. And just so you guys know, that
I can
happened.
Tina love.
That happened. Look, I did that off the spur of the moment because we were both tired from the city tournament, and it was the last day. Like, it was so exhausting.
Oh.
I was like, "Hey, Curtis," and it just flew right through. And the look, I was like, "Oh, we're on to something."
It was great to have that tournament, but that was an exhausting 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And Brian wanted me to tell you personally, I will get you in May, Curtis.
Okay, all right. It's a date then.
Hey, listen, here's the thing. y'all, and what helped me keep that segment going is because Brian sends me personal messages on TikTok with all the dad joke vids.
I was gonna say earlier for pre-show, I just don't think I did. We could look into a Laffy Taffy sponsorship for you.
Ah, okay, Laffy Taffy.
Remember the jokes on the inside of the
It's yeet.
Yeah. Bazooka Joe.
But no, guys, for real,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I appreciate y'all getting a note here. Yep, take us out. Take us out, man. You the host. You the man.
I think we've covered everything we need to. So on behalf of myself, your host, Dustin Caps, Mr. Curtis Rideout, and our very own Pillar of Knowledge CEO and Coach Price, we can't thank you guys enough, guys and gals, people out there. So we enjoy doing what we do. Like Curtis said, it's work. We're working for you to bring you more of the content that we're just happy that you enjoy. So thank you, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank
Doctor.
you, guys. So with that, we will catch you
Doctor.
on the next episode.
Remember, 1% better every day.
That's right.
That's what we're. So if like 2024 was the year of accountability, this is the year of preparedness.
Yep. We are working on being prepared. We are prepared. You're always prepared. Just go.
And Brian says, much love to you all and the DGAB family.
Thank you very much. It's an awesome family. Happy to be part of it.
You guys have a wonderful evening.